Hi everybody and welcome back to StorytellerSpira's channel. We are embarking on a new game. If you've been following us for a while, you know our one big VTM game was New York by Night. That is going to be on hiatus for a little while while we play around in New Orleans. I am using the supplement book, if you know it, New Orleans by Night. I'm, of course, deviating as I often do in using supplements so that it can be really unique to my players here. But anyway, let's go around and see how everybody's doing. And actually, people are in the wrong windows. So, Super Chocolate Bear playing Zibani, and Zibani playing Super Chocolate Bear.
No, it's happening. We're changing characters now.
Hi guys, I'm a jazz player and I like jazz.
I really like gambling. Oh, I'm sorry. I really like gambling because it's got to have that deep voice.
Southern it up, boy.
All right, I can do that.
There you go.
That's doable.
Oh god, I'm Bjorn again.
Alright, well, the real Super Chocolate Bear, how are you doing?
I am doing great, and I have been so excited since we did episode 0 to come in and do this again.
Hey. Alright, and Zibani, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Equally excited.
Yep, how about you, Elvish?
I am stoked, man. I'm very excited about this.
How about you, Modi?
I'm really disappointed in myself because I meant to take some time today and get my notes all in order and do all that nice prep work. If be like, let's pull up all my disciplines and everything and have it reduced down to what. No, I didn't do any of that. Like a fucking slut that I am.
I didn't do that either, if it makes you feel any better.
Well, I thought about it driving home from work today, and I was like, do you know what? When I get home, I'm going to do this. It's going to be great. And then, of course, I got home and just completely forgot to do it.
It's okay, I'm ST, and I still have a lot more work to do in this game. But, it's always an ongoing battle when it comes to GMing and storytelling. You just basically gotta keep updating all the time. How about you, Koznark? How you feeling?
Everybody, knock on wood, no technical problems tonight, no push-to-talk issues, and we are streaming in 1080p.
Yeah. And how about you, Hope?
I'm doing pretty dang good, man. Pretty
Nice.
excited, pretty anxious.
Anxious good, anxious bad, a little both?
A little both.
That's okay. There's no pressure besides the fact that I'm going to be relying on you solely for I am going to probably be asking you mage questions, but I am doing my homework like a good ST. I'm really happy I got that book, How Do You Do That? Because I was just sitting there rereading the stuff about spheres. I was like, okay, I get everything you're telling me, but how do I then... when you're like learning a new language and like you can hear someone speak it and understand it, but trying to like think of a sentence on your own is difficult. That was kind of about where I was. Like, I can't think of what I even would want to do, like, in that position. So that's been really fun. And fixing cameras again. Alright, so I would like to commend you all on a great session 0. Did a fantastic job really fleshing out your characters more during the discussion part of the game, and then especially the little, mostly non-canon play session. Just wanted to let you guys all try out your voices, and I really felt like they were coming together. So let's go around, and for this first episode, kind of give us a little bit about your character. And for the viewers, definitely tell us again what they look like until we get our lovely Elvish Dame's art for this new game. So excited. Always excited when she gets a new portrait done. So let's start with Super Chocolate Bear as Luthor, the Toreador. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your character and then what he looks like.
Okay. Well, about him, he is Toreador. He dresses very, I don't know, I guess we would call it very toreador. He's dressed in more modern clothing, suit, tries to look at his finer just because that's what his sire taught him to kind of do, to make sure that no one looks down on us and yada, all that stuff. And he looks black and bald and around 35 or so. Slim, just normal average build. He's not going to be muscular or intimidating or anything along that. He just is very average Joe looking. We're not doing the roll in attractiveness like down at the end. We're closer to the other side of the spectrum on this one.
Yep, and actually we can give a little teaser of new Elvish Dame art. First character portrait done. If it'll load. Hold on. There we go. All right.
That's what he looks like.
Yep, so we got our first portrait done, and we will have more to come. Now, Zbani, tell us a little bit about Abraham the Ventrue and what he looks like.
All right, so Abraham was he was born late 1600s in Angola. Got brought over on a slave vessel and protected a venture that was headed over to there, kept him, from dying during the middle of the voyage. He did a lot of work against the Sabbat during the Revolutionary War. That was kind of his big deal. Nowadays he mostly runs the stock or works on the stock market. He's been doing it since the stock market came around, so he's exceedingly rich. But he doesn't really appear it. He kind of dresses like a hobo because he wants to elicit a feeling or elicit disrespect in other people because that's who he has to feed on. So he's kind of withdrawn, a little bit like quiet, maybe has a little bit of a stutter sometimes. Kind of looks shaggy, though he does have a bad habit of being snarky.
Nice. Elvish Dame, as Dinah the Toreador, tell us about yourself and what you look like.
Dinah is on one of the plus side African American woman with she has like a nice kind of curly weave with her hair. She was sired in the 1920s, so like mid 1920s, and she is a jazz singer. And actually, what she does mostly is she hangs around in her office and she connects different musicians in New Orleans and like basically hooks them up with bands, and they end up creating bands and like going on tour and different kinds of things. So she's very good at like organizing musicians together.
All right, and Modi answers as Bjorn the Gangrel.
Hello, everyone. I am Bjorn, and I hail from Scandinavia. I've been on this earth for quite a few years and have walked various places on this earth and have a collection of stories and experiences from all over, which you'll recognize from the various tattoos that dot my body. It's one of those traditions I took when I was a ghoul and traveling. I got a tattoo as a memento or memory of more or less everywhere I've been. My sire, I was first a ghoul for him for 100 years, as he wanted to travel the world and was looking for somebody, trustworthy to keep watch of him during the day as we sailed and traveled around. Once my service was complete, he rewarded me with the embrace, and since then I've been traveling throughout the Americas. Particularly enjoy North America. The giant fuck you to colonialism and colonies and the empires and all that really caught my eye at first, and I've since fallen in love with the United States. And here I've been since, enjoying the city. His description, as he said, he's covered in tattoos. He's a 6'2" man of Scandinavian descent with dirty brown hair that's undercut and pulled back into a braided ponytail that goes about down to here. He has Nordic knotwork all around his scalp where the undercut is, and then dotting his body is the aforementioned tattoo. So, a traditional Chinese tattoo, and maybe a Buddha over here and something from all over. Just he's very very gregarious and loves to get around and experience a little bit of everything, which is what drew him to New Orleans, where he could get to experience. I mean, it was first a French city, and then a Spanish got it at some points, and then the United States got it, and then it was burnt. It's just all a collection of people and walks of life, and it's this unique melting pot with the tourists as well, which is what drew him to it, and here we are.
Perfect. And next we have Koznark playing Theo the Samedi, first Bloodline PC in our games.
Yep, I'm playing Theo, who looks like dead Bill Nighy. For the most part, Elvish is going to be helping me work on the art for him, since it's hard to get a realistic depiction of zombies. But yeah, so I'm playing him, the very old Samedi, who's stuck in his old ways, borderline masquerade breaking, running around the city, getting up to no good. Doesn't really care about vampire politics all that much, despite his position in the city. Just kind of having fun, you know, going along for the ride, seeing what's cool. Other than that, like, yeah, he's a cool old dude.
And last but not least, another first is Hopeless Entree is playing Rebecca, a Cult of Ecstasy mage, who, as a Cult of Ecstasy mage, has gotten pretty, entranced by the reality of vampires. So tell us a little bit about Rebecca.
So, Rebecca is a mid-20s ecstatic mage who's born and raised in New Orleans, aside from a few trips to visit extended family back in Trinidad and Tobago. Has been awakened as a mage for about a decade now, though her introduction to the supernatural was far earlier, as a rambunctious and probably should have been watched more carefully child, running around New Orleans at night, ran into one of our PCs here and made a lasting friendship with him when she rediscovered him as a mage later on. Appearance-wise, racially speaking, she is Indian. She is pretty short and kind of wiry thin. Dark eyes, nearly black hair, and it's pretty curly. And that's about it.
Perfect. So, to give a little bit of background for our viewers, and for you guys as a reminder, because we're not playing neonates this time. You guys are actually all quite a bit older, at least 100 dead, plus however old you were when you were embraced. Some of you far older than that, 200, close to 3 for Theo. Yeah, and Bjorn, yeah, definitely some older kids around here. And while Rebecca is younger, far so by comparison, she is a mage, so she's fine. She can handle herself. But to give a little bit of background history in the area, especially as far as kindred are concerned, in the 1800s, the Lupine, or Garou, as you might know them better, the werewolves in New Orleans, were facing some trouble, especially from technocracy mages who were coming in and trying to steal the quintessence or the magical energy from their cairns, the domains that they keep. And at the time, the Prince Doran, who was ruling New Orleans area, wound up using some gangrel to create a bit of a treaty with Lupine against these mages. It held solid for a long time, and they were able to keep the mages at bay, if not out of the city entirely. Early 1800s, Doran actually met his first mage, though it was a mage of traditions, and it was actually a Cult of Ecstasy mage. So he started learning a little bit about them as more than just an antagonist, someone trying to steal kindred or werewolf domains. But as time went on, and following Doran's assassination, to which the new prince, Marcel, blamed on a local gangrel, tensions have been a bit high in the city between the rest of the Camarilla and the gangrel, between the Camarilla and the Lupines, even though their treaty currently still holds. Their treaty kind of designated the Lupine to bayous and forests and outcropping areas where the city proper would belong to the kindred. However, from 1800s on, more and more areas grew with the humans, and more area became city, became settled, and was technically kindred domain, and they certainly wanted to hold on to that. So tensions have become a little tight between those two, and there actually aren't many gangrel left in the city even to try and help keep that at bay. And at the same time, the mages have started making moves again, kind of sensing this tension, or just assuming with more time, perhaps they can sneak their way in and get back to those cairns. At least the technocracy mages. We'll see how Rebecca and our traditions feel about stealing magic, as it might be. But all of our PCs here are old enough and have been in the city long enough to at least know some of these details. Theo, for sure. And while Bjorn is a little newer to New Orleans, being a gangrel, he has definitely heard some of these rumors, some of these connections, learned well about it. Luther and Abraham would be well versed in it, and Dinah, being a part of the upper class clans, as you might call them, the Toreador and the Ventrue, probably would have learned some of this as well. And Rebecca, at least might have heard some of the things from the other side. With Mardi Gras on the horizon, this year, 2018, being in about mid-February, Marcel, the prince, is running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to make sure everything is prepared in the city, not only for the kindred side of celebrations, but that there's no chances of their parties leading to any breaking of the Masquerade. He's got these concerns about if the Lupine are going to try and stir up any trouble. He doesn't know much about these technocracy mages just yet. They've done a great job of keeping themselves pretty secret. So he is doing what he can with his contacts to gather information, prepare backup plans, all that sort of thing. And of course, our players, who are all very invested in New Orleans, they love the city, they care very much about it, and have their own goals in the city, their own desires and things they want to seek out, are also trying to follow up on all of this. So recently, Theo, the Samedi, who tries to keep a pulse on everything going on, asked Bjorn to go meet with a certain kindred known as Uriah Travers. Uriah Travers, while most kindred understand him to just be Malkavian, some insane recluse, Bjorn would happen to know that Uriah claims to be what he explains as an abomination, aka a werewolf who has been turned into a vampire. It is out of setting, something that is so incredibly rare they almost never survive the transformation. Bjorn, you would look at this person and think they're just a Malkavian. But you have seen and heard some strange things about Travers, and Travers is also just connected so well with the werewolves locally. It does leave a little bit of concern and itch down your spine. But Travers lives out in the boondocks, out in like the deep bayou woods, in a small cottage. He generally doesn't want anything to do with other kindred. It can be kind of hard to get a hold of him, even if you just show up at his cottage. He'll likely be gone by the time you're there. So even though Theo asked you to follow up on this, and Travers does actually like Gangrel. Out of anybody in the city, he'll sooner speak with a Gangrel than anybody else. So after a couple weeks of trying to get a hold of him, trying to set up a meeting, he finally relents just so that you'll leave him alone.
And just for clarification, I mean, I've been around the block a couple of times. Have I actually heard of a legitimate source nor met an abomination in my life, or is it that rare that this is still ridiculous to even me?
I feel like the term itself you might not have heard of before speaking with Travers, but perhaps in your travel, and especially you being Gangrel, you're the one clan that occasionally has some small ties with werewolves. You might have heard of this fabled, terrifying concept of a werewolf who is still technically mortal being embraced by a vampire. So when he brought it up memories and flashbacks to frightening tales you heard in Europe, but you've never heard anyone who ever claimed to be one, or really even claimed to have seen one, maybe other than some drinking buddies that, like, swear they saw one and beat one up.
So it's I have heard it before, but it's a tall tale, basically.
Absolutely, and because, most everybody else in the city considers this guy to just be a Malkavian with a delusion, you're leaning that way too.
Can you say his name one more time?
Uriah Travers?
Uriah. Because I keep getting Uriel stuck in my head, and I'm like, it's not Uriel. What did she...
I'm going to be going by his last name, because it's a little easier to say and not sound confusing over voice if I don't say it right, so Travers, but yeah.
Okay. Trying to actually take notes and be a good boy.
No problem. It's a new game, so I won't feel bad if you forget NPCs. It'll only be like, episode 10 when someone you've been talking to every episode, you're like, who's that?
Or episode whatever of New York by Night where you're like, wait, I met this guy in the first session.
Yeah, no, of course. It's fine.
Okay. So I set up a meeting with Uriah Travers. Did we set up a time or anything specific of what we're looking at doing?
It would probably be earlier in the evening, because again, he's felt like he just wants to get this done and over with so that you'll leave him back to being a hermit. As I mentioned, he lives in a cottage kind of deep out in the bayous and woods, very, very off the beaten path. Also, as a further description, in general, when you've been around him before, he doesn't exude typical quote-unquote Malkavian behavior. He seems pretty alright, maybe a little bit neurotic and a little antisocial, but otherwise seems mostly together. The only time he seems to get a little heated or his energy elevates is during conversations about quote-unquote what he is. He has long, scraggly hair, like couple piercings, but otherwise dresses pretty plainly, just like a white shirt with like a sweater and jeans, and sometimes looks a little extra dirty, like he has been rolling around in dirt.
Okay. So is he the type where when we set up this meeting, he expects me to come to him at his house, or would he not want to meet at his house? I'm just trying to...
No, he would expect you at his house. Like I said, a lot of people sometimes just try to go to his home and meet with him to get some information because not everybody knows this, and not anybody who isn't older even maybe knows he exists or who he is. But people who would go directly to his cabin, he won't be there. So it's kind of a special setup if he says, fine, we'll meet, but he will want you at his place.
Okay. And last question. Is he expecting to meet alone, or is it valid for me to invite Theo along?
He would expect the meeting to be alone. He wouldn't want you... He would be upset if you brought someone unannounced, and if you asked, he would probably say no.
Okay, that's fine. Then, at the prescribed time, I will make my way to his house.
Just 2 seconds. I have to help Koznark with something.
She didn't invite me to roll 20.
It's in the channel.
Wow.
Oh, I thought you had to be invited.
You had to be it. You should have been in last week.
Technical
It's
difficulty.
like he rolled.
I left a share link in the channel.
You did. That's how I found out about it.
That's how I found out about it.
All right, I put it
That's how
in.
everybody found out
I put it in the vampire channel. That's barely a technical difficulty. That's just somebody not doing their homework.
Technically a technical difficulty, so
Hey, you know what? If that is our technical difficulty for the day.
don't ruin it. You're gonna jinx it.
I can only keep knocking on so much wood.
There's always more wood to knock on.
My knuckles are getting sore. No, I'm not giving you the satisfaction. Go. Just
No, you know what? That gave me the satisfaction because you acknowledged.
Fuck! I ruined it, guys. I'm sorry. Zibs is satisfied, and that's the thing that none of us want.
I was
Basically.
gonna say that's what matters the most.
Depends on your perspective, then.
No, technical difficulties is OBS crashes and nothing works. This is management difficulties, which is
And you're
also
saying,
my fault.
and
but
you're
different.
saying I'm jinxing it when he specifically listed, like, worst case scenario.
Cos, what did we just say about jinxing things?
What? Hey, every game I haven't said that we're gonna have no difficulties. We have, so
I'm confused about the number of negatives in that sentence. I'm not gonna lie.
Same.
I'm not sure what
we're
that
Tom
sentence
is
the
what you're
actually
saying.
I'm
meant.
just gonna say we're not gonna have technical difficulties. Maybe we won't. Maybe it's the opposite.
I'll just let myself in then and walk inside.
We lost Elvish.
Hey.
And also, guess who's muted again?
Hi. So,
Way to
Thanks.
go, Cos. 2 seconds later.
What happened?
Elvish, can you hear us?
Oh god. I see.
All right, so who am I? I am still,
I see
I'm
Articus.
still me, but I'm
You're only
I'm
half
also
of everybody.
Theo.
You're a little bit of half of everybody.
I messaged Articus to see if I can get an explanation for what's going on.
I think I'm complete.
I'm just gonna be Theo down here.
I think I'm
2
I'm at
seconds.
the bottom down here.
Yeah, I'll give it a second before I do anything about moving cameras.
I'm guessing it's probably her computer and not they had a power outage or something, because
Our internet died and is now back up, but my computer just.
Her internet died, and then her computer
Okay.
died at the same time, so she's turning everything back on.
Okay, no problem. Everybody
Cos,
ignore
this is all your fault.
the
Yep,
half heads.
We're not gonna have a problem. That's gonna fix it.
Hey,
Hi. This
So
su-
everyone,
this
let's
seems like a
talk about
perfect. This seems like a perfect time to have a drink.
Everyone, what's your favorite color and why? And the correct answer is always going to be red.
Green.
Anyways,
orange.
Well, speaking
Also a good
for
color.
half of Dinah right now, solidly red.
okay, good.
So
far,
you
the only
can see my full face is Theo, so I'm definitely gonna go green. I don't exactly remember what Theo's voice sounded like yet.
the only wrong answer we've heard so far is orange from Kosnark, and he can just be wrong.
Yeah, you can be wrong.
Mine-
Why do you
I
hate
would-
on the best color?
It's
color
the
of
worst
chaos,
color.
bro.
Let's
It's
talk
not a good
about all the
color.
reasons why orange is brown. It's the or
Orange is brown.
It's the closest to brown.
I see your
brown's the
problem.
absolute
You think
worst
orange
color.
is brown. Common misconception. It's not.
It's the closest color to brown, and brown is the worst color. So by proxy, it's the closest to being bad.
I really
The
feel
absolute
like
worst.
yellow is worse.
I want to know where
No,
my
yellow can be
towpath is.
beautiful.
It can
It's
be,
like
I'm
an
just
orange.
saying.
Orange can be beautiful.
Unless it's like fall, that's the only time I've seen a good fall, like good orange.
I'm just saying, like, apply colors to random things, paint, furniture, etc. I would sooner have orange for most of those things than yellow. Too much yellow is bad.
I think yellow's pretty decent. Yellow's a
It's-
pretty decent color.
I think yellow's great as more of an accent, though, compared to, like, an entirely yellow couch or an entirely yellow wall.
You take that back. I saw a yellow couch once, and it was pretty damn.
How
I
old?
felt
But-
really.
From
But
the
was
70s?
it? But was it more like gold than yellow?
No, it
Okay.
was bright yellow. It was like in a house that they could afford to just have a second, like another room with separate furniture, and in there.
I hope this is what you all came out here for tonight, to listen to us discuss colors.
I did once go check out an apartment to go rent, and they
Mm-hmm.
had like one of those 70s fireplace that like came down and it looks like a flying saucer, bright yellow.
Nice.
Yellow, amazing.
That's like something funky though. Like that's fun.
I like all
Some
of them.
retro nonsense.
Okay, so your verdict is yellow's bad until it's not.
I still think too much yellow is bad. Like an entire painted wall, big old couch, carpet. No.
And Barrel Dragon's the god of RP. No, it's his name is RN Jesus.
What?
RN Jesus. That's the god of RP.
RN Jesus, we should all pray to him before any dice roll.
Because
I'll pray to
RNG, random number generator.
Nope.
Also, because we're just trying to fill up time,
I love your hat.
it is now.
Cup of beer time.
So everyone,
Noodle
Swami, would you
flavored
please
what?
explain the bottle you are now holding up for? Well, I don't know if that actually showed.
Take
on
a
camera.
sip first and tell us how it is.
Oh, yeah,
I
you're
saw
right.
the bottom of the label.
I mean, that's the important part. No,
Yeah.
tonight is I grabbed a bunch of individual bottles, and I saw noodle flavored beer, and well,
But like, first of all, noodles don't have much flavor. That's why you usually put stuff on them.
But if you're wondering what kind of noodles this beer is, the beer is
Ramen?
named
Wheat
Cup
kind?
of Noodles.
I got that. But ramen
Cup
has
of
a
beer.
lot of added flavors.
Right? See, I don't because I mean, noodles are wheat, and wheat can be a beer. So like, I don't.
Yeah, I am riveted now. Like, stop the game.
No,
Even if Elvis
oh
comes
God.
back.
What is the smell? What is he?
I'm definitely getting some lime out of this. That's
weird.
Stop spending so much time teasing. Just taste the damn bottle.
I'm moving your camera up just so I can see your face.
Yeah, this is. I don't understand how this is noodle flavored. This is lime beer.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Right? That's not bad.
It's like a little bit overly sour, though.
No, that sounds delicious. I
Sour
love
sour
sour
beers.
beers. I mean, it sounds terrible because it's not what it says on the bottle, but
Yeah, but like as a beer, without a label, it doesn't sound like the worst.
It's our take on the goza.
Oh, it's a
style,
goza.
Brewed
Also-
with ramen noodles, lime zest, ginger, lemongrass, and seaweed cured sea salt, crisp, tart, and
What?
I don't
oh,
know.
it's a goza. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, congrats on pronouncing goza correctly.
It says our take on the goza, pronounced goza. I just skipped the pronounced part.
I'm actually pretty excited to try a couple more of that one brand I was telling you guys about. That's like beer mixed with tea. It was pretty good. I wish it was slightly less sweet, but it wasn't like too bad.
Spira, you
Yeah?
should buy and have a couple of that on stock next time we see each other.
Well, I'm gonna try like one or two of the other ones, and then I'll make sure to have the if one is better than the other or one is bad, then
Oh, no. The poodle flavored beer is the next one I have.
Wait, what?
I'm preferable to the chow flavor.
They're posting.
They're messing around, Modi. Relax.
Flavor? And I'm like, no, that's the next beer.
Oh, I personally prefer Shih Tzu.
Why would you prefer Shih Tzu? I was about to make that joke, and I was like, I shouldn't do that. That's too...
No.
And then you did.
It's like the time my dad went to a zoo and they only had one animal and it was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
I get it. I hate
Spotty,
you.
And that's it, folks. We're
Spotty.
shutting it down. We are shutting it down.
It's such an old joke. Why?
I know, because it's great.
Oh my god, does Uriah Travers seriously wear a collar?
Okay, here's the thing. That's the actual illustration from the book, which came out in '93. I'm gonna say no. And actually, in his physical description, it doesn't say anything about looking like a punk. It says he wears white shirts and sweaters.
Okay, I was about to say, because I was like, you're playing the abomination thing a little bit on the nose with that.
I sat down one day and I was really trying, and I found like one person who fit. I'm not like trying to be perfect, but I wanted them to fit okay. And there was like one person that fit alright. I was like, ugh. I just gave up. I was like, I'm just gonna save these pictures from the book. I definitely like the rest of his look though. The long hair, kind of scraggly, I don't trust anybody look. I'm dancing around fixing the cameras now.
Just hurry up. The sooner you fix them, the sooner she's going to come back to ruin what you fix. You have to do it again.
Yep.
It's a good point. Alright. Alright, we're gonna fix the cameras real quick, and then hopefully Elvish will be back with us.
Incidentally, this beer, I'm gonna need to be a lot more drunk to drink this, because I have just learned a type of beer that I don't like.
Zibs, give it to me. I will be more than happy to drink the rest of it.
You don't like sours?
Nope.
A Gose is a little different than a sour. It's
like drinking, like, you know, like lime salt for a beer? Yeah, it's like that, but in beer form entirely.
Yeah, that's a Gose. It's made with salt and sour things.
Sour
So specifically the two notes that it adds to a beer. Yes.
I like my beer to be as dark as my heart.
I didn't know that you could just throw random food and then brew it and call it beer.
For sure. Yeah.
Dude, they like
Have you
have
heard
like
of
coffee
Rock
beer,
beer?
fruit beer.
I didn't know you could. I didn't know I could make a lasagna beer. Okay,
For
that's
sure,
kind of
yeah.
weird to me.
You could.
To be
Bacon.
fair, I would
Bacon
try
got
lasagna
big for a little
beer.
bit.
Well, that's because you're a special child, Cos.
No, I would try it. I didn't say I would. Yeah, he never said he would like it.
Yeah, I didn't say I'd buy a case of it. I said I'll try it. If someone's like, hey, I bought
I have
lasagna
a
beer, I'd be
lasagna beer.
like, give me that. I'm trying it. I
Guys,
would like
still
invest
isn't
in
hype
stock
biscuit.
in that company.
I have good news.
Hmm.
My horn is no longer broken.
Hey!
Nice. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and hopefully Elvish will be back, and then when she is okay, she's letting us know something maybe right now.
I think I'm like drawing out suspense.
So-
Oh no.
Ooh.
Wait, hold on. Elvish, I thought the same thing, but it was actually just my HDMI cord, and that's why I didn't play any games with you guys for like a month. So just check the HDMI cord.
That's the worst thing in the world. Super complicated.
But there's a really easy solution to all of this. There's a perfectly good streaming computer 2 feet from her.
right?
Hey, that's correct.
Yeah, tell Art to go away.
I just did.
Okay, well, yes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep going with the story for now. We'll try and keep up with Elvish. Hopefully she'll be back tonight so she can play some more Dinah, because her accent was even super fun. I just really loved her character. But Bjorn, you have just knocked on Travers' door. and he told you to come in. As I was explaining, his cottage is very minimally appointed, just table, chairs. There's like a counter kitchen area that really just has like a sink. There's really even nothing that looks like for cooking food. Little bed in the corner, fireplace that looks like it hasn't been touched in almost ever, and then another little like just couple like chairs to sit on.
Sorry. He has an awkward last name that is not Trevor, and I keep wanting to say Trevor.
Travers.
Travers, like Traverse City. Travers, how are you doing tonight?
You see him sitting at the small kind of kitchen dining table with the two chairs, and he had some old like moleskin notebook open in front of him that he's been writing in. He looks up, he looks a little weary, but that doesn't seem very strange for him, and he just gives you a appreciative, friendly nod. I'm fine, Bjorn. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm fantastic as always. Thank you. I appreciate you making some time tonight to meet with me.
He gives a little more of a weary smile than as much a genuine one, but nods, and he holds a hand out, motioning to the seat across from him. You said you had some questions?
Yes. As you understand, the current situation that we find ourselves in the city, correct?
Trevor's, like, kind of adjusts his shoulders and then nods.
You know, everything getting quite interesting as far as all of us are concerned, and with the looming holidays just around the corner, I hope you can appreciate the situation that I'm in.
The others, he says with almost a pronounced capital O, are restless, yes.
So, I was wondering if you had any information for me, anything to report on.
Travers is quiet for a moment and then slowly scoots back his wooden chair and starts pacing, not too anxiously, just a thinking pace, and nods a little at your question. Is there anything more specific you're looking for?
Specifically, you know how these things get, and the prince is a bit... the prince is being a bit of the prince, as you know the way these things go, and of course he's a little bit uneasy about with the tourists and everything going on, that it's his biggest concern right now to make sure that there's no masquerade breaching or anything along those lines. And I'm just hoping that the others are happy to go along and keep things nice and orderly during this time.
Trevor stops pacing, turns and gives you a hard stare, and after another moment says, I can trust you not to repeat certain details about my kinfolk, yes?
Travers, this is me you're talking about. Look at me. I'm going to keep anything, words aside, that you need me to keep silent. All I need to know is how to respond to the situation. If you need me to keep something confidential, I will keep it confidential.
Alright, now let me fix up these cameras again real quick.
Man, and I was getting excited to see Elvish from a new angle.
Apparently this is the Cosa version.
Yeah, there's stuff here. It's a Spanish joke.
I'm a little mad. I was coloring Bjorn and I was done and I was just shading. And then my computer crashed and I lost all of my coloring. And it's just back to the black and white.
Save early, save often.
I did.
Oh, did it lose it anyway? That
Yes,
sucks.
because I had it open and I just lost everything I had done, like, in this session.
Also, like, good gaming rules as well, the time. Or the true, rather, sorry.
Alright, well, let me pull up everything else here.
Alright, camera's back in order. So, after Bjorn clarifies that he will keep certain details quiet, Travers nods again and folds his arms, giving Bjorn a very serious look. I've told you about the two major factions nearby, the Black Spiral Dancers and the Uktina. The dancers have been oddly quiet lately, but of course the Uktina are getting restless. They feel that this treaty is no longer fitting the boundaries that were originally set. They feel like they're losing more and more territory as the years go on, and of course that's upsetting them. And then it sort of trails off for a moment. These mages, as they call themselves.
It's breaking again. I'm sorry, my computer's dying. I'm gonna hop on Art's computer.
Okay, no problem.
Good news, guys. My wife kind of likes the noodle beer.
Hey!
I
Nice.
shall drink it.
When in doubt, give it to your wife.
On it off.
To finish that last little bit, in case we end up going a little wonky for a moment, Travers trails off after mentioning mages and says, there are these ones that I've heard called the technocracy, different than other ones. They're the ones that the Lupine are concerned about, the ones that seem to be trying to take their territories.
Now, just for clarification, what do I understand as Bjorn about the technocracy and how it plays into New Orleans?
You would have heard this term from Marcel before, and any of the other elders. Like, you know about them, but you don't know really much. Whereas, like, a couple other mages have been found and come forward and even talked with vampires on occasion. These ones have this kind of shadowy aspect to them, like that creepy corporation you know exists, but you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. And as much as Kindred have tried to find out more and more, Travers has been one of the ones that, like, has kind of gotten the most, and still not that much.
Okay, fair enough.
They seem to do at least a good job of covering their tracks, if not, like, just never being seen. It's very confusing, and why even the best, information hunters around Kindred can't seem to find too much information, compared with occasionally some Kindred you've spoken to have talked about mages who call themselves Cult of Ecstasy, and a couple other names you've heard floating around in the city.
I'm sorry, could you, if you remember, reiterate kind of the last few words Travers said?
Just that he was saying, as far as the mages go, the ones that he's heard of are these ones called the technocracy, are the ones that are bothering the Lupine about their territories, not so much other mages that have been representative in the city.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Are these specifically the ones the Uktena are getting upset about? Are the technocrats, as you call them? If it's the technocrats encroaching on their territory, why is this potentially going to cause issues for us?
I'm sorry. I was gonna redo the cameras and I was like, she'll be back in a second. So, anyway, so Travers nods just in response to your question, even though it's kind of two parts. He says, no, those are the ones that seem to be causing the problem. I'm still keeping an ear to the ground. Haven't learned that much about them, even over last few decades. They're good at covering their tracks as it is.
When he says he's been covering their tracks, he's talking about the technocracy covering their tracks?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, just bunch of pronouns. Well, okay. Do you know if this annoyance is likely to boil over, or is it something still simmering at this point?
Travers shakes his head with quite a bit of confidence and just says, "No, this seems to have been something brewing for quite a long time between kindred, between lupine, between mages. I don't know if this is coming to the final head or if this is just more of the same, but if anyone is concerned in the city, it's understandable." And you see him almost give kind of a almost imperceptible shiver, like he can kind of feel this, energy and tension looming over the city.
Look, I know the Lupine understand just as well as we do that none of us want a Masquerade breach, or whatever the Lupine specifically refer to it as. And Mardi Gras is just around the corner, and all of the kind's media are going to be focused on the city. Any small thing that happens in New Orleans is going to be broadcasted across the entire United States, and for that matter, across the entirety of the world. The Lupine have to understand this as well as we do.
Travers gives a shrug, just kind of, almost maybe unexpected from your perspective. Just...
Have things really gotten that bad with the Uktena?
He thinks about it for a moment. As I said, they're upset about losing what they consider fair territory, at least based on the treaty, and of course, some of them probably even consider the treaty unfair in general. It's been nearly 200 years. It's something that should be addressed, but as far as I understand it, and while his arms were folded, you see them go even tighter. Marcel just won't even address the situation, won't bother trying to even find anyone, and you see him start to snarl a little bit to try and continue discussion.
Is it discussion they want in exchange of words? I'm here, I'm Gangrel. I'll do it if they need discussion. I will stand proxy for an Amsec prince.
Travers starts to scratch the back of his neck, deep into his thick, long mane of hair, and you even see his fangs flash a little. You can see him starting to become a little annoyed on the topic. I don't understand what anyone wants in this. I've just been keeping my ear to the ground.
And I appreciate it. Travers, you're doing everyone a solid favor. Both the Lupine and us both want peace, whether they realize it or not, or how upset they get. It doesn't serve any of us to drag this war into the city.
I'm not doing this for anyone.
Then, if you don't mind me asking, what specifically are you doing this for, then?
You hear this very kind of dog-like kind of cruff. It is like scratch in his throat. It's kind of like a scoff and a sigh. With that, though, we're actually gonna head off and see a couple other people. One second, let me switch the music real quick.
Elvish, is everything okay? Your camera froze.
It's a mystery.
Couldn't
So good.
possibly have been Koznark.
Jinxing the goddamn game, right?
I mean,
No, absolutely not.
We've
I knocked on
consistently blamed Koznark for any technical issues, so
Yeah,
this
so
is
what's the
obviously his
difference?
fault.
No, this time was especially.
I'm immune. Your poison won't hurt me.
This time was as
Don't worry about it, darling.
I am so sorry.
It's okay. Out of all the times it has always been our fault, it's fine. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's really fine.
It is my turn to all of the difficulties tonight.
it's still Casa's fault.
Yeah.
We said don't jinx it, and he said, nah, watch me jinx it. Because that's gonna make it better.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope.
Hey guys, that
Theo
time
turns into a bat.
Articus is now taking blame for it. So let's just all blame Articus.
Articus is being sweet and trying to fix my computer right next to me.
Aww.
Aw, what a sweetheart.
Alright, we are going to travel into the more poor, downtrodden areas of New Orleans, area that is especially domain of Theo the Semitic. And here within, Theo has actually asked Rebecca to come and meet him early in the evening, as he's only really just gotten to know the young mage, and I feel like essentially both of them are very fascinated with one and the other, and want to get to know, learn from each other a little more.
Okay. And so where exactly would Theo have called her to?
He probably would have said, "Go walk around and I'll find you."
Okay, so yeah, she will just walk around and take pictures with her phone, like be as touristy as she can possibly manage.
He'll sneak up behind you, but not really that sneakily. You could probably hear his clothes rustling and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he'll look in your phone. What you taking pictures of?
Yeah, no, she'll turn around and first make sure that it's actually him, and then give him a hug. Hey, Uncle Theo.
He's gonna stare daggers at you. Hello, child magician. How's the nightlife treating you? Have you had
good.
dinner? Do you need something?
No, I'm perfectly. I'm nourished. How are you?
What's wrong with you? Did you get replaced by a robot? What do you mean you're nourished?
You asked me if I was hungry, or I'm fine. I'm not hungry.
Well, I'm just saying the human response would have been I've eaten tonight, not hello, fellow person, I am nourished.
I chose my words correctly.
Come on,
I
walk
did
with
good
me.
this
He's
time.
just gonna grab your arm mid-sentence, take you walking. He'll have
Okay.
a mask up right now, though, so.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to be getting? Do I have a mission tonight that I'm actually going towards, Spiros?
You asked Bjorn specifically to go speak with Travers to get some more information, and similarly, you're all a little bit going to be on this track of the latest rumor in town is that there might be more mage activity than there has been a bit recently, and additionally, the prince is seeming a little paranoid with Mardi Gras coming up.
Well, no, that. I mean, am I out and about for any specific, I need to get this done? Or am I just waiting for Bjorn to come back?
Unless you tell me, no.
And then,
Okay.
Quick question about Mask. It is visual only. Can she feel him still, a ghoulish being?
Absolutely. In fact, Mask generally drops if you touch someone and it doesn't match the illusion. So if you touch his shoulder and the height is similar to the illusion, it might not drop. But if you see a normal looking person and you touch his hand or his face and it's obviously more corpsey, the illusion basically drops. That's
well, I'm
why
guessing-
that's why mask is very useful, but you have to be careful when you're out in public because if someone knocks into you and like notices that something's wrong, it can drop the illusion.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't
with
hold
a-
hands with strangers, is what you're telling me?
Pretty much. You want to be careful of people directly touching you, especially if you change your height in the illusion. It's kind of recommended when you do mask, if you're going to be in public, maybe stick to like same height, gender, things that like, as long as no one touches your face directly, you should be safe.
No, he looks exactly like him when he was alive. That's it. He doesn't change anything about himself.
Yeah, so then if someone doesn't like touch your skin directly, you should be pretty safe.
Nope, and I'm sure it's like taking her arm, so she's just feeling his liked suit jacket.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
So yeah, she'll turn over and so does that hurt to do?
What?
Does it hurt?
Does what hurt?
Your face.
Like, is it different? Did I
Yeah.
put the wrong face on today? This is new makeup. I don't know.
Is the new one? How's the new one feel?
This is a new mascara. Can you tell?
Yeah. No, I can it's doing good things for you.
Thanks. I was actually thinking of getting like eyelash extensions or something. One of the girls at one of the places was telling me it looked like fun. That
So-
maybe shrink my head by like 3 centimeters. You know.
I really want to know though. I mean, how does it feel to change like that?
For lack of a better word, magic?
It
Does it like feel like anything? What does it feel like to like shoot fireballs? I don't know.
I'll let you know if I meet someone who can do that.
You don't know? You can't shoot fireballs?
I mean,
Why did I even invite you into my house?
because I shoot other like ice balls. That's my thing.
Well, I mean, I guess it's useful if you want to be a bartender or something. Come on, I have to check in on a few people.
Okay.
And I'm going to take her walking around the city, kind of like checking in with the people who keep an eye on my domain, making sure there's no anyone specifically around that I don't want around. I probably make particular, if she's like kind of listening in on his conversations with these people, it would be particular like Setites. You'd hear that word a fair bit.
Alright, so I'm imagining these are kind of like just humans in the poor section that you help out, that keep an eye out for you on goings-on, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Just humans, maybe other vampires I know that are in my domain. Just doing my keeping tabs on who's around and what's around.
Do they know you by the name Theo, or do you go by anything else?
He mostly goes by Theo.
Okay, so you continue traveling around this poorer section of New Orleans. A lot of townhouses that look a little bit more run down, even passing some streets where houses look like they were never rebuilt, recovered, or anything was much done, especially after, say, Katrina or other major events in the area. And you pass, it's early, late evening, so some families are starting to turn in, but there's definitely some adolescents and 20-year-olds hanging out on the stoops of their homes or just walking down the streets. They see you passing by, and anyone who does recognize you gives you a very respectful nod, and you hear a couple young men sitting on a stoop as you pass yell out, but similarly with that like kind of respectful nod, be like, "Hey Theo, everything all right?"
I'll like walk over to them and just see what they're up to. Oh, just found a lost girl. Figured I'd take her to an alleyway and eat her or something.
Help.
Both of the young men laugh, and like one of them slaps his knees, like, don't let them get you upset, girl."
How about you guys? How you doing tonight?
Good. They look between each other and shrug. If you're looking for a status report, everything seems fine.
Anyone who shouldn't be around?
Mardi Gras is coming up, so a couple people now and then, but nothing you've asked us to keep an eye out for.
You know I like the partiers. They're more than welcome here.
Of course, Theo. We'll keep you up to date, man.
It's the fucking evangelicals trying to convert everyone in the city to their bullshit religion that I don't want around here.
Hey, keep it down, man. Some of the voodoo people actually like that. What did you say?
I said don't. Keep an eye out for the evangelicals trying to convert them.
Okay, well, I was just thinking, actually, that would be Christian, not Catholicism. Fair
Evangelical, point. Yes.
Fair point.
The Catholics are fine. Sometimes, I guess. Alright, I'll keep walking.
Yep, Rebecca will try and shake their hands goodbye.
They look a little interested in the stranger deciding to give them a random handshake, but, it's the South, so they just smile and laugh and shake your hand.
I'll just, look over to Rebecca. We're waiting on Bjorn. He's supposed to be meeting with a friend of ours.
That's the, he's tattoos.
Yeah, the big idiot who looks like he could drink a whole bar under the table.
Right, he's got the best stories, though. I learned so much about you from the past through him.
After 130 years of him, they get a little old, to be honest. It doesn't seem like much has happened to him since the 60s.
Which 60s?
Both. It was like a dry cap,
So who's he talking to?
Oh, my friend, he's a dog. Well, his friend. Relationships are strained. I don't deal with them much, but they don't hate me. I don't hate them. We all have a good time, I guess. They're not too keen on the rest of the Camarilla in the city, though.
Vampires seem to have just the most interesting lives.
Nah, it gets boring.
He's talking to a dog, Uncle Theo.
I mean, he doesn't look like a dog. He looks like a guy, but, he could turn into... He's a werewolf. You know what werewolves are, right? You've watched movies.
Yeah. So that's even cooler. He's talking to a dog who's a dog sometimes.
I can turn into a dog, too. Do you want to see?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Not here. Get noticed. Do I have I'm gonna text Bjorn and ask him where he's at.
Okay. He will be mid-conversation with Travers. So Bjorn, let me know if you would take the time to get back to him right away, or just let that buzz in your pocket.
I just texted him. I didn't call.
I would do the subtle pull your phone out of the pocket, sees the name and sees that there's a text message, put it back in with not being rude to Travers.
Fair enough.
But I'll probably is the bar that Dina was gonna be singing at, is that still a thing today, or was that totally just wiped off of canon?
It's
Dinah, sorry.
That was kind of just a practice session for you guys. Obviously, Dinah does have different places she's going to be. She's an entertainment agent, as we talked about, so she'll have different bars she's working with, especially with Mardi Gras coming up. And actually, if you'd like, we'll hop over to our Ivory Tower kids real quick. Get them in the mix, and we'll find out exactly what Dinah might be doing right now. Luther.
You did there.
What?
You said Dinah might be doing dynamite.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that, but you know what, Zvani? If anyone is ready to catch a pun that's unintended, you're on the ball. Good job. Luther, Abraham, and Dinah, You are at a small soiree with Prince Marcel and a couple other higher class Camarilla members. It's just in the back room of a small French restaurant. And really it's just a traditional moment to gather the local socialites and discuss ideas about the kindred balls and parties that take place during Mardi Gras.
Trying to log into Roll20, sorry.
No problem.
I don't remember what my password
So we are
is.
currently right now engaged in a conversation with the prince about the social activities of New Orleans.
Yeah, give me 1 second. And if you guys are watching stream, I'll have some pictures for you. Alright, in particular, there is Prince Marcel. He's a fairly well built, pretty tall, chiseled features, slightly darker skin, kind of that, like, you can't tell if he's more maybe Hispanic, Middle Eastern, very, like, kind of mixed ethnicity looking guy. He has, like, medium length dark hair that he keeps back. With him is a young white man with medium-length blonde hair, similarly okay build and sharp features. His name is Christopher. You understand him to essentially be kind of like Marcel's right-hand man. New Orleans, while the prince holds very strongly to the traditions, in a weird way, he doesn't exactly have a standard primogen. Instead, he has a small kind of council of trusted kindred. So instead of specifically one representative for each clan, like a regular primogen council, he just has 3 or 4 people he counts on. And then, of course, there's, say, your kind of coterie that are similarly elders in the city he can call upon for advice, recommendations, help, that sort of thing. Additionally, at the party is Morgane, a local toreador. She's exceptionally prominent among the kindred as well as the human arts in the area. She is a musician, but especially is known for her clay and sculpture work. You would all know that she has a vibrant personality that can sometimes go a little too volatile if she's upset. She's kind of well known for that. And last but not least is Joshua. He is also a toreador, and his kind of notoriety comes in the fact that he is brilliantly good looking and frustratingly charming. It's almost a little too easy to give into his whims or fall for his, for his charms and manipulation. So it is the 3 of you and the 4 of them just in a nice private back room of this French hotel. Marcel even had a couple small dishes brought out just to kind of enjoy the atmosphere. But otherwise, they have a small selection of blood available in wine goblets if you would like any.
Luther would definitely enjoy some blood.
I'm so okay. So, didn't hear you say my name the first time, but then you said the 3 of you.
Yes.
Am I there?
Yes.
Okay.
My tutories and my venture.
Yeah, I will also be partaking of the blood.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
And have we already had a discussion so far about like problems that are happening, or has it kind of just been small chat so far?
This was that like Twilight Zone of Twilight era of everybody kind of filling in, waiting for like the full party to arrive. After more and more people came in, the waitress actually came around and asked what was wanted, and so a short while later, after you all have had some more conversation and just small talk, she comes back with a large tray with a bunch of red wine glasses, each filled with a good draught of blood, and hands them out to each of you.
Thank you.
Well, now, are we all here, Marcel?
He looks around as if there's actually more than just a few people to glance over, and nods. Yes, I believe this was just about everyone. I invited a couple others, but I believe they were busy this evening. I just wanted to catch up. We haven't spoken in a little while, and we have quite a big festival coming up.
Quick question. So with our episode 0, was any of that, what's the word?
Canon.
Canon? The concepts, like anything you guys shared as characters with each other, or details I told you about the city, that's canon. The exact scene didn't necessarily happen.
So, an interesting point is brought up. Can I drink from a blood cup? I am a Ventru.
Yes. So, I always understood this concept that blood, once taken from a body, so say a blood bag, in which case this is where it would have come from, unless it was fresh squeezed in the back, loses the essence of the person. So in fact, that's why I've always said blood bags will do the job, but eventually, your beast will crave the fresh thing.
It's almost like drinking from an animal for me.
Yes, so it's basically like it'll probably even give you a point if you drink enough. This would probably be like a half point, but what will happen is the same thing I always said for Kim about blood bags, is it won't satisfy as much. So you'll get some sustenance out of it, but if you ever try to live off of that alone, won't do the job.
Cool beans.
Now, is there a reason why you got us here? Is there something important you were trying to bring up?
Sorry, one sec. Marcel kind of laughs, and even a couple of the others, as if it seems so gush to just jump right into it. It's a social event, but he nods at Luther and says, yes, of course, there's some discussion we need to have. There are, he clears his throat. Well, of course, we have some concerns about outside entities causing any mayhem during such a raucous time here in New Orleans.
Can I say that, are they parallel with our time?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm aiming for it to work about the same time.
Okay. Can I text? Sorry. I probably would have maybe heard about this through Waze, but can I text Abraham after getting a whiff and be like, Prince meeting up without me again?
For sure.
As always.
I'll text back, not like I own a major part of the fucking city, I guess. Hashtag not bitter, but he actually types out hashtag.
It would be funnier if you said pound, not bitter.
Thank you.
Or
That's why he wrote out
octothorpe,
hashtag.
not bitter.
Theo is not a 90s kid.
The Toreador, Morgaine, young, beautiful woman with, seems to be probably black-white mix or, other, slightly mixed ethnicity, similar almost like to Marcel, comes sidling up to Dinah's side and smiles, kind of actually taking her arm in hers and leans into her very friendly. Dinah, how are you, darling? How has everything been? Do you have any interesting projects going on?
Can she hear us?
I'll respond to Theo's.
Sorry, were you talking?
Privilege is
Hey.
a great thing.
Okay, sorry, what did you say? Repeat yourself. I apologize.
Sorry, no, I was wondering if I muted again. We were having a couple issues with it. Morgaine, the Toreador, sidles up to Dinah's side, smiling large. She's a beautiful kind of mixed ethnicity young woman and wraps her arm like through Dinah's. Says, Dinah, how are you? What projects do you have going on? We haven't spoken in a little while.
Hello, Morgaine. It's nice to see you. No, I've been working on a couple things. I've been trying to. Recently, I found a very talented drummer, and I've been trying to see if I can't find some other musicians to pair him up with. Maybe you can help me with.
Absolutely. You know I know all the musicians around here.
You and me both. I think between us, we might know every musician in this United States.
She laughs pretty, raucously at that, and just nods and, pats your arm with her other hand. Says, yes, I think so. I just can't wait for Mardi Gras. It feels like Christmas around here that, it comes and goes so quick and then you just have to wait another whole year for it.
I feel exactly the same way. It's bigger than Christmas. You have more shows. You have more music going on. You got more people here. Oh, it's definitely bigger.
Certainly quite a more number of shirts coming off as well.
Yes.
So, Luther and Abraham, did you say you're sitting, standing, just hanging around?
Okay, definitely sitting. Always just assume that I'm sitting because Kane.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Did you say that in your introduction?
I don't think I did, actually. Before I stepped on the ship to America, I got hobbled because I was a political opponent of the current regime change. So I have been crippled my entire Gouldom and my entire Embrace. So yeah, always sitting if given the opportunity. And kind of just making myself look a little bit smaller in my chair.
Also, it kind of depends on what others are doing. Like, if the prince is standing, I'm not just going to be, sitting in a chair, I guess. But
Pretty much everybody is sitting. Morgaine moved over to Dinah if she was still standing and, is kind of trying to gallop out with her a moment.
I'd be sitting next to Abraham.
Alright. Joshua comes and sits very close to both of you and gives one of his award-winning flashing smiles, the sort that almost makes you wonder if he's using presents or not, but he just kind of smiles at the two of you. And how about you two? What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been busy trying to organize various different events and shows for the upcoming holiday and all.
Of course, spending time with Dinah when she has a chance, and racing, as is.
Just found a small biotech firm that shows promise, so I'm helping them along.
Several of the people room laugh at Abraham, just congenially, just always finding something new, ain't you?
Oh, please, it's not like I understand any of it.
Marcel leans back in his seat, kind of puts both of his arms up on the back of the padded booth that everyone's it's kind of like a long, big L thing with a couple otherwise tables in the area. So So he just leans back and nods at everyone. Well, I'm glad to hear all of your prospects are doing so well. But I do have some concerns about the upcoming festival.
Well, that is why we are here.
Of course. As you all know, the lupine in the area have become a bit restless as of late. There have been certain not too small incidences of, at least as far as we can suspect, and as far as my cameras may have alerted me correctly to, incidences in which they've been attacking our territories, our businesses, in small takes on retaliation or cries for help, lashing out, whatever you might call it. And then, of course, there are these others, these mortals that claim to be mages, have always been a bit of a thorn in our side. My concern is if the festivities this year, with all this rising tension, will leave any of us open to some of this sort of retaliations, someone trying to take domain while one of us is off and away, organizing something. You understand what I'm saying.
Now, do you think these mages are really going to be much of a problem for us?
Marcel's eyes wander around while he's thinking, and he says, well, we've done a good job, especially with the treaty with the lupines, of keeping them at bay, making them realize we're not one to necessarily be contended with. But again, if the majority of the kindred in the city are shit-faced and shacked up, who knows what they might try.
And having interacted with one of them personally, they can stand up against us. If not take us down, of course, but they can be dangerous.
Marcel's brows furrow at Abraham's admission and says, can you tell me more about this one you interacted with?
You won't like it.
Even Morgaine and Joshua, the other Toreadors, kind of laugh a little bit awkwardly at that, and Marcel pushes forward. Please indulge us.
It's one of Theo's friends.
Theo. Interesting. And what about this person?
She has, it's hard to explain, but abilities on par with those of our age. She felt me in her head and pushed back.
Oh, really? See, I saw something sparkly about her aura, but I didn't do anything like try to get in her head.
That does sound impressive, especially for a mortal in what I would imagine is barely even a quarter the age of any of us.
I'll just nod my head.
Christopher, the prince's right-hand man, speaks up at that point. Yes, that sounds like it could be a bit of an issue, especially if there's more than one, if they're older, if they're more powerful than even this one alone. Though it begs the question of why they haven't been able to take things if they are so capable.
That one I cannot answer. Do know that Theo's friend, she is okay.
She's okay? Like, we can trust her? How can you be sure about that?
Because I did say I got into her head. She pushed back, but I did see inside of her head before she did. She seems okay.
Fair enough.
So what, do you want us running then? Security? Did you want us to just keep a special eye out on our events, or any particular clues we should look for?
Marcel nods at Dinah's question. Yes, I'd say first off, anything you're planning directly, make sure you know everyone involved. You background checks especially if they're mortal. If they're not kindred you've worked with before, if they're kindred you have worked with, probably safe enough. But and then of course make sure all of them know to keep on their toes. Enjoy themselves, of course. It's fucking Mardi Gras, but be sure that these people all understand that there might be, and he kind of trails off trying to find the right word, infiltrators, though perhaps not the best word to use, don't want to cause a panic. And yes, just do your due diligence in making sure that we don't leave ourselves open for any undue attacks or loss of territory amidst all of the fun.
And let's say we do see something. Do we try and jump in ourselves, or do we give you a call?
Marcel gives a genuine laugh, and even Morgane and Joshua kind of laugh along. Christopher seems a little more stoic, but he just kind of nods with Marcel's reaction, and Marcel responds, I've brought you all here because of how capable you are, and I know you've got your own contact networks and your own kindred, ghouls, herd, whatever have you. I trust you can take care of it, but of course, if you have any concerns or need my help, let me know.
Sounds all right to me.
Alright, we're gonna hop back over to a little cabin in the woods, where a certain gangrel is speaking with a certain Malkavian of interesting descent.
Yep. Well, supposed abomination, maybe Malkavian, who the fuck knows?
Kinda. My job did not let you know entirely.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, where did we leave off?
The last thing Travers had really explained was that he still is a little iffy on his understanding of these technocracy mages. He has some leeway towards some information, but he's trying to get some more before he would ever announce, factually anything about them, or if he could even find anyone in particular. Other than that, he's just been confirming that yes, the Lupine, especially the tribe known as the Uktina, are very restless, and these other ones called the Black Spiral Dancers are basically causing problems for both them and everybody else.
Speaking of which, do I understand that Black Spiral Dancers are basically anti-Guru?
Travers is very hesitant to ever talk in detail about Lupine. With Gangrel, he gives a little more, and that's why he started the conversation with, you understand these finer details, do not leave this room. But he has definitely made it clear, you've got enough, perception and intelligence to pick up this idea that there's something off about these quote-unquote Black Spiral Dancers, these ones that seem to cause problems for anybody, let alone their own kind.
They're at best case black sheeps, and at worst case antagonistic werewolves.
Yes.
Okay.
There's something
Perfect.
definitely off, little dangerous, little antagonistic, although you've also heard Travers speak about them with some reverence. So while he's always been a very straightforward person, he doesn't really let emotion affect his perception of things too much. there's a tone in his voice when he speaks about them that even if he's honest about how dangerous they can be, there's a slight bit of respect.
Okay. All right. Cutting back to the scene. Travers, I understand you're in a sticky situation and things are they're never simple around here, but I want what's best for both the Lupine and the Kindred. You understand this, that I'm working actively for peace in the city. Tell me what I need to know in order to ensure things go smoothly. That's all I want.
You see, in his stiff stance with his arms folded, it looks almost as if his hairs bristle a little, but he nods and says, "You know, I've explained before that the Guru, which you know them as Lupine, but you know he uses this word on his own. The Guru, have become more distant to me as of late, especially with this tension, and he trails off seeming very upset on the topic. And he clears his throat. But I still have one or two contacts. I will do what I can for the sake of our and he trails off. You can kind of tell he was about to say acquaintanceship or something along those lines. I will see what I can find. It would be good to connect with them again anyway.
I seriously appreciate it, Travers. Do you, look, I have asked a lot of you tonight. Is there anything you need from me? Is there anything I can bring you? Have you fed recently?
He shakes his head as if it's a silly question at the last part. No, of course I've fed, it's fine. And it almost seems a bit of a touchy subject when brought up. That friend of yours, Theo, I believe. I've been interested in speaking with him, but not just tonight. I'll keep in contact.
Look, you know how to reach me, and I would be more than happy to set up whatever you need between you and Theo. That's a non-issue. But Travers, I ask a lot of you, and I appreciate all you do for us in the Camarilla and the Lupine, because honestly, it serves us both. But if you need anything, let me know, and I would be happy to do it for you.
Thank you, Bjorn. And he walks over and he'll give you a full forearm handshake.
Of course, return it in full brotherly manner and just... Look, I always pay my debts, and I appreciate everything you've done.
Of course. You're one of the few I'll ever bother taking the time for, and he kind of finally seems to break a little out of his shell and gives a very small laugh, even if it takes quite a few times of asking.
True. Anyways, I've already taken far too much of your time. You have a wonderful rest of your evening, and hope things go well for you.
He stays where he's standing and just raises a single hand as a goodbye as you leave.
I'll see myself out at that point and make my way back. At this point, upon leaving, I would then check my text from Theo, which you texted me what exactly?
I just asked where you're at, like, basically if you were coming back yet.
And I will give you a phone call at this point.
Are we good on time, Spiros?
I don't know if that's anachronistic, but...
That's fine. The Toreador and Ventru are a little early, but they're probably going to meet you guys later anyway, and then we'll go back to them. So, yeah, all good on time.
Yep, I'll answer the phone. Hey, you Norwegian piece of shit, what's up?
I would rather be a Norwegian piece of shit than whatever kind of swamp you hail from.
Fair point. You do have prettier eyes than me.
I mean, have you seen the state of your eyes recently? I'm not quite sure. Are you able to actually look into a mirror without breaking it?
Hey, let's not talk about vanity here.
Fair enough. I mean, you
I
did
will
start
burn
the
your head.
conversation, and don't be upset if I finish it.
Rebecca very obviously tries to listen in.
How did the meeting with the
Anyways,
puppies go?
what did the meeting with the what go?
How did the meeting with the puppies, the dogs, you know?
Could you think of more derogatory way to refer to them? It went
I don't
fine.
know, flea-bitten mongrel.
Thank you. I appreciate you using the proper terminology.
Cackling. I'm sorry. She's.
Hey, I'm not gonna call him by a proper term until he gets a fucking ribbon at a dog show.
Well, there was this one time in the 20s.
Those were good times.
Those were very good times. Unfortunately, the second 20s were nowhere as good.
We'll get there. It'll get better.
Third time's the charm. Anyways,
You want to meet up around my place? I've got my my mage friend Becky from the block here.
the hot one.
She will. If you call her Becky, she will straight up punch you. Like, no, nothing is pulled back.
The hot one's with you, with the nice dark eyes.
Ow! Apparently she's violent too.
Oh, all the better. You should have told me this sooner.
I'll leave that to you later. But apparently the rest of the group is off meeting with the prince about, you know, the territory of New Orleans, but I'm not fucking invited.
You're on the council. How are you not invited?
He's probably just trying to be a bitch about it or something. I think
Or maybe-
he's scared
Or
to
maybe
make his
he's
dick look
upset
small.
the fact that you left your arm at the last board meeting. It's a little rude to leave body parts around. Maybe you should think about that.
Listen, if you could lose your arm, you might. I had too much to drink. It's not my fault. Anyway, let's meet back in, maybe, Abraham will let me know whatever the prince is doing in his fucking meeting.
It'll take me a minute to get back to the city. I'm gonna head towards what? Your place? Is that where you want to meet, or is there some place that you had in mind?
I don't know. Somewhere around where I hang out. I'll call you, see where the hell the rest of them are going. Or we could try to crash this board meeting. That could be fun.
It would be an interesting thing to find out. Do you have like a specific haven? At least like one house you could say like meet here?
Yeah, he
Or a mausoleum?
He's not that morbid. No, he would probably have like a small like 3-story townhouse that he hangs in. There's nothing in it, but like he'll hold meetings there, just some chairs and tables and stuff.
A refrigerator full of blood packs?
A few shrunken heads. A few hundred shrunken heads. Okay, lots of shrunken heads.
I was gonna say, you're like a voodoo dude. Why don't you have at least an altar or something going on?
Oh no, it's like Hoarder's Paradise, but for like weird stuff. Like just all sorts of crazy weird
A
things.
curio shop that's not a shop.
Yes, exactly.
Good. I'll meet you there. I'll be there in the next 30.
Alright, I'll see you later.
Au revoir.
Do we start
Fuck
walking
you
in that
too.
direction?
No, me and you will continue walking around just like checking on the city. Just, you'll see me talking to a bunch of people and making sure there's no one around who shouldn't be.
Yeah, she will endeavor to shake hands with every single person you talk to.
And hopefully they will all continuously look at you strangely.
Alright, now heading back to that little French restaurant where Luther, Abraham, and Dinah are hanging out with Prince Marcel, his right hand Christopher, the Toreador Morgaine, and Joshua. So the prince had told you some basics about what he's hoping from all of you during Mardi Gras. Just any parties you're throwing or involved with, you know, keeping your head relatively on straight, keeping an ear to the ground if there's any strange happenings going on, seeing if you see people trying to cause more than the normal mischief. 1 second. And he allows the conversation in the room to naturally kind of flow back into normal banter, discussions about the city, about Mardi Gras. Would any three of you, or any of you three, have specific plans? Obviously, Dinah, you've got, you know, work to do. But Abraham and Luther, what are you looking forward to with Mardi Gras? Do you think you would plan your own parties, look for them?
Is Dinah singing that night? Elvish?
Just in general, like.
Sure, why not?
Then I would be with her because I'm her MC, so I have to introduce her to the crowd before she.
But
goes
like,
on.
you mean just like in general over the course of Mardi Gras, right?
Yes, because actually it's about 2 weeks. Obviously, Mardi Gras itself, the single day, Fat Tuesday, is kind of like the biggest day, but the 2 weeks leading up have kind of like parties and parades and small get-togethers and things like that throughout that whole preceding 2 weeks.
Then yeah, if I had any information about any big games, gambling-wise, that were going on, especially around Kindred, he would try and get on that. But obviously, being MC for Dinah is like number 2, but like it's not my number 1.
Thanks, honey.
Abraham doesn't have any specific plans. Like, he kind of tends to go with the flow. He's probably going to go see Dinah once or twice because, you know, fellow elder, you know, going to support his fellow kindred of New Orleans. But I don't think he has any specific plans. He just kind of goes with the flow.
Okay. Also, keep in mind, going forward, that this time in New Orleans, while you guys are a few of the, like, 24 permanent residents, and there's another, like, 24 that are semi-permanent. They've got havens, but they move in and out of the city, traveling probably around the south. During Mardi Gras, the city floods with kindred, and one of Marcel's biggest duties at the time, as well as his house and other associates, his ghouls and all of that, is keeping track of not only the census to make sure that the number doesn't outweigh the population to be fed upon, but also who enters, who's around, if anyone with a troublesome past is going to be a problem. New Orleans is in fact actually kind of a refugee city, though. Marcel, as well as his predecessor Doran, always saw New Orleans as a chance for kindred who so if they're blood hunted in another city, there is concern, but there's also kind of a concept of, like, perhaps you were wronged. Everybody kind of understands that concept. It's a reality. Sometimes you're blood hunted for the wrong reason. So essentially, if someone is staying there for a short time and then moving on, it's fine. But again, Mardi Gras is kind of the situation of, like, kindred just fucking love Mardi Gras because there's plenty of drunk humans, so many drunk humans that you could take a tiny sip from each of them, leave them none the worse, and get drunk off your ass as a kindred. It's a good time for all around. But as you guys continue to have some small talk, just discussing Mardi Gras and your own plans, things like that, finally, what's up?
I do want to say that I assume that the prince has a cell phone, right? And I have his phone number.
Yes.
I would text the prince, just kind of snarkily, "Don't worry, I'll make sure we don't lose any of my territory too." Like in jokes about him having a meeting about people losing territory, just with a smiley face at the end.
He will actually, similar to what Modi said earlier, do that kind of half, like, just pull it out of your pocket, look down at your lap, and put it away. But as the conversation continues along for a little while, he's going to kind of, casually call attention to the group, and then, clear his throat and say, one final thing I wanted to address to all of you. And he waits for full attention.
I continue to look at him.
Full attention.
The first of any of you to give me at least a genuine name and at least location, phone number, something else to follow up on a guaranteed technocrat will be owed a fine boon from me. And the first of you, if any of you can, to bring me one, you'll have one from my whole house. You will actually see Christopher kind of snap his attention to Marcel, a little surprised at that, but keeps his cool.
I'll look around the table. Is he talking to all of us, or is he talking to us three? Like us?
Definitely not Christopher, because Christopher is his right-hand man. That's part of his house. It sounds like Morgaine and Joshua, the other two Toreadors, were listening and a part of this, but kind of even just the direction of his head, where he was looking, kind of seemed toward three of you, because he knows you're a little bit more, you've got your own skills. He knows what his people can do, and you can infer that since he hasn't gotten information yet, that means that perhaps maybe you can.
I'll look at the people who I think he was talking to. Well, now this sounds, Marcel, this sounds a little bit like a game.
Marcel laughs at that. Yes, Luther. In fact, would you like to make it more interesting?
Oh, well, since you are offering, I would not mind making this a little bit more interesting. Maybe Abe, Dinah, do you guys think you could beat me in a search of information?
What kind of information exactly, and what are we wagering?
Well, Marcel just said he was wondering, first one to come up with information and name of one of these mages we are looking for.
Aha. Okay.
Or one you can actually bring to him. That's even better. He gives you a lot more for that.
I'll give a look over to Abe.
You did not say what you were thinking about betting.
Well, I mean, I'm always open for anything, but money is just so we're beyond that, I'm sure. Especially you, Abe, I'd imagine.
Marcel nods and laughs at that. He said, "That's why I offered a boon."
Abe, do you have anything besides money, or are you just full of it?
I have the things money can buy.
And you, Dinah, you got anything besides money?
I have lots of connections, but unfortunately, all I can really wager for you is specific people performing at your establishments. That is my job.
I will, I'll kind of help out a little bit, but between, Diana, your own personal fame and status that you took, you can similarly kind of offer something along the lines of getting something done. You know what I mean? And, Abraham, of course, you can sort of say, yeah, money, but more than you could imagine. what with those 6 fucking points?
I mean, I don't have like a list of items that I have Spirit to give.
Yeah, me either. Like, I didn't come up with this beforehand, or I would think about it. I guess I can just import something.
You guys can even say reconvene to make this a good fun game. We can talk about it.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah,
Make this the Arabian Nights, kind of the princes who had to go off in the different directions and find the best thing kind of story.
Yeah, we'll agree on that.
Sorry for the random literature reference.
No, you're good.
You're just classing up this stream.
Sorry. I gotta use my tens of thousands of dollar degree for something.
You
Streaming.
bring some class in here.
Thank you.
Happier.
All right. Well, okay. The game is set. I think this should be rather enjoyable.
You have a way of making things get effectively finished.
Now, so just a name and a place would do for you, Marcel?
Marcel
real
nods. Wait, sorry, what said Sabani?
While he's making this conversation, I'm going to text Theo. Don't suppose your mage friend knows where someone from the technocracy is.
You'll just get a response. You'll just get a response. Fine, but you owe me.
I'm pretty sure I'm in
I
the
feel
lead.
like I might have to start a credit
That's
system
what I
in
was
this
gonna
game.
do. Screw you.
Oh no, Abraham and Theo never actually exchange anything.
That's part of our backstory is that he is in debt probably millions upon billions of dollars to me, and I owe him so many favors it's absurd. Like, we're not sure who is in the lead right now, but I'm always going to take credit for it.
I was just gonna say, for anybody who doesn't know as well, V20 kind of, it doesn't talk about it much, but the older games had a literal, like, credit system about boons and favors of, like, you could keep track of it with, like, Excel sheets. So I'm already like, oh, let me get my Excel up.
Like, I'm fine with keeping track of it for anybody else, but Theo, it's been 200 years. We don't remember anymore.
We go so far back, we just don't care. We just assume that things will get done when they need done.
Oh, I love relationships like that. Alright, so Luther, with his little bit of a weakness for gambling and games, has set up a bit of a play between the three of you of who can do it first, and you guys will work out who owes who what, as well as winning the Princess Prize. To answer the question, Marcel said, well, of course, any information at all will be owed a favor, but the more you get me, and if you get me one of them in particular, one actually in the flesh, that's a whole nother thing entirely.
Well, this just sounds like it's going to be a big ball of fun. Not to rush things along, of course, but there's a game at hand. Is there anything else you need from us, Marcel?
Marcel shakes his head very casually. You must be off on your race. Be at it. You see Christopher stays seated where he is. Even Morgaine and Joshua look curious about being on their way, but they don't seem to rush as much as you three are. In fact, they look a little bit like curious onlookers. They kind of want to see where this goes between the three of you two. Or the three of you.
So I'm gonna, after I get the text, I'll look over at Rebecca and just smile and be like, would you like to get in trouble tonight?
She'll smile back. Maybe. What do you have in mind?
Have you ever heard of a technophile?
God damn it, Theo.
He's got weak eyes. They're rotting out of his head.
So, like, to someone who is really into machines?
I don't know. The prince wants technophiles. As many as he can handle. Oh, technocrat. Oops. Sorry.
That was the reaction I was hoping for.
Is that a yes, or do you
Oh my God.
you have syphilis too?
Uncle Theo, you have syphilis?
I told you I had holes in my brain, not just my face. Come on, move on. Keep up.
This is like you're making jokes with me right now, right? This is like your average Uncle Theo crack up.
No, I would like to be petting a technocrat by the end of the night.
I don't why? Why would you want to do that?
Well, I mean, we're just standing in the road. What else are we doing?
That one is a hard sell. I'm being sold really hard on this one.
I will give you, like, a quarter.
I am warming up to this idea.
I will give you a quarter that has been brewing in the skull of an alligator for 40 years.
Sure, but I don't know where they are, and also I really don't want to find them. So that one's on you.
But what? You're all mages, come on, don't you have, like, radar or something?
Do you have any Samedi friends?
Ooh, I've got crystals. Can we, like, draw a pentagram, put some crystals on your head and find one?
All right. We're going to take our little break in the middle of this game. I'm going to run off for a second. Anybody else who needs to, go ahead and do so. Anybody in the chat, if you've got questions about the game, our characters, or anything else you want to, like, ask us, go ahead. Whoever's around will try and answer, and we'll be back in about, like, 2 minutes or so. So, yeah, we'll be right back. Thank y'all for watching.
Thank you for fulfilling my dreams.
What was your dream?
Just the laugh, the
Beautiful. That was beautiful.
Thank you so much. I'll be back.
So I think I'll be the first to ask the questions. What are y'all drinking tonight? I'm asking both the players and the viewers if you're drinking anything exciting, like a beer that's flavored after a cup of noodles. Let us know, because what the hell?
It is poorly flavored after noodles.
it tastes like
Oh my
Bag
god,
10.
get out of here,
He's like-
Char.
What? Oh, you got something to say? Let's hear it.
Look at me, Char. I'm drinking scotch.
Yeah. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm just a sophisticated Toreador now.
I'll
Just
sit
and
here
drink
sipping
scotch.
my Coors Light in response.
This is beer number. So I'm doing, like, I'm testing a variety of beers tonight. This is the first one that I tried.
I like that one.
This is the second one I tried. And this one, which I like a whole hell of a lot, is really good.
I haven't seen those last.
I'm on a gosh darn diet. I ain't got no beer.
Yeah, no, HEB, which is, I don't know, you guys might not know about it, I probably don't, I think it's a Texas thing, is a local grocery store, and they have an amazing beer selection for a grocery store. Like, it's on point. I also tried a Mississippi Mud Slide, I think. It's just a beer, which is like a
In the
porter
jug, right?
and Pilsner mix. Yeah, in the jug.
Yeah. I've
Tried that, that was pretty solid.
I was gonna say, I think those are like national. Like those are.
That one I don't know. All I know is I saw it. The jug looked interesting, and I bought it based on that because it had the word porter on it.
Modi, did you say you're drinking Bud Light or something along those
Holy
lines.
fuck! No, Coors Light.
Oh,
I'm a step
my bad.
above Bud Light.
There is
And
a
this is
difference.
not
Coors
PBR.
Light.
This is not PBR. That stuff is
What is wrong
the
with
worst of beers.
There's nothing
Look,
wrong
look,
with PBR.
guys?
Except for when you put it in your mouth.
Nothing
PBR
wrong with it.
is the people's beer of Richmond, and for better or for worse, I am from Richmond, Virginia, so I drink my people's beer.
PBR is not that bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not that bad.
So obviously we have Rainier up here. Do you guys also have a beer called Rainier? Like, does
Never
it make
heard
it
of
out
that before in my life.
No.
Are you
We have
saying
lots of local
reindeer?
breweries around here, though.
Rainier, as in Mount Rainier.
That sounds really familiar. How's it spelled?
Rainier, I think.
Yeah, with a big red R.
I feel like we
And-
just need to get like a few bottles of Jersey Devil to keep around the house.
When I come to you guys, I'll bring over some of my local shenanigans.
I'm tired of being blind. I'm gonna
Okay.
go find my glasses real quick.
I've definitely heard of Rainier, but I've never had it. I don't even know if I've even spoken to anyone who's had it. Any chance of Martin de Riquet showing up? He's mentioned in the book. We'll see. And are we still doing the Friday game? Yes. If you were thinking of the LA vampire game, that one concluded. If you didn't see it, it is on our YouTube channel, the whole show, so you could watch from beginning to end. We had about 8 episodes total. So if you missed any, go check it out there. The link is below in my information here on Twitch. And then if you're talking about D&D, we are going to be continuing this Friday. We're going to continue our Session 0 world building because we didn't get to finish it last time and it was so much fun. We want to do more of it on stream than just do it behind the scenes. And then after that, we'll start our actual full game with all of our characters.
Blue Moon is the only one from that list that I like.
To be fair, Smoking Toes, none of us particularly like those beers either. Coors Light is at least palatable for just like a good, like, I just want to drink something. It's basically water. In fact, our joke is we call it, can you get me a can of water?
Oh yeah, no. Coz and I have with like Coors, Bud Light, Busch Light, all of those are, we call those getting our water beers because it's like, I want something to drink with my harder stuff that
Yeah,
will
see-
end up making me shit faced because I'm drinking
And
beer
see-
with hard alcohol.
See, those beers are like sex in a canoe because it's fucking close to water.
Yeah, exactly. No, I still like them. I grew up with them, because you were poor and your older friends were able to get it for you kind of thing. So, like, occasionally you kind of like them, but definitely not what I choose. If I'm choosing beer because I want to drink beer, I have a billion other things I'd get.
No,
I mean,
see, for
that's-
me,
that's-
I started off on like local craft brews. Like I never started off with.
Well, look at
the
Mr.
Coors.
Hoity-toity over here.
No, it's because I used to drink like fucking lemon drop martinis and vodka, blue raspberry vodka Sprites. And then I'm like, oh wait, I'm gonna be a medic. I'm probably gonna be spending time with a bunch of grunts. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna let a grunt see me order an appletini. That's not happening. So I had to learn to like beer.
Can I get an apple teeny? Easy on the teeny.
Oh my god, but like apple teas though, can we just take a
They are actually good though.
Like,
I
Fuck
love
yeah.
sour things. Apple teenies are delicious.
right?
Real quick, I gotta say, because I don't think a lot of people know about this cocktail, and it's amazing. Does anybody know what a Washington apple is?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, of course.
Of course you do,
Oh, of
Super
course.
Chocolate Berry. It's fine.
Classy person.
Okay,
Get
I
out here.
should have said anybody other than SCB. But a Washington apple is whiskey with DeKuyper sour apple and cranberry juice, and it's the fucking best.
You had me at cranberry juice.
And of course, get 100%.
Cranberry. That
was the very end.
That was
Marie.
the end.
You can't say you had me at the
You
end
had
of
me
your
at the end.
sentence.
Oh, cool. So you described the whole thing, and then I was
But
into
if she
it.
had put the ingredients in opposite order, she would have had me at cranberry juice.
But she didn't.
I really like dirty martinis, but like you get the worst looks when you order them.
Do you? I order
From
for
who?
by every single restaurant we go to.
For the girl you're with, you mean?
Yeah.
I order them for me. Big white dude. And they're like,
Oh my gosh,
Where's your
pomegranate
girlfriend? Like,
martinis are the best
martini.
goddamn thing in the world, though.
like, I love olives,
So
so
good.
it's freaking awesome.
I need to
feel
try
like
a
I can
regular
re-
people martini.
I don't remember the last time I've ever heard somebody order a normal martini.
Right.
Anytime I ever hear a martini ordered, it's always dirty.
It's like
So I don't know why you're getting weird looks for getting a dirty martini.
He's getting dirty looks because it's a dirty martini. Duh.
it's the appropriate time to give a dirty look, Modi.
I'll order a dirty martini with
No, you
extra
give a
olives,
dirty
and
look
they're
when
like,
somebody
"What's wrong?"
orders a 4 Horsemen. If you get a 4 Horsemen, that's a dirty look.
No, then you get
Long
regular
Island
looks
iced
when you
tea.
order a regular martini. That's just how
Exactly.
that works.
Yeah, if you order a dry martini, you get
You get dry looks.
Duh. This is science here.
Alcohol science. We drink what we must because we
Thanks
can.
everyone for joining us.
Well, now
Yeah, this
Elvis.
is
Welcome
Now,
back. to
now hold
Alcohol
on,
Talks.
Elvis. You've just set yourself up that I need to commission that as a whole song.
Oh god damn
I'm
it.
just gonna say, like, if
Elvis,
there's any,
Elvis, I
there's
got
any-
you. I'm solid at parodies. I got you.
I could try to. I like writing this every once in a while. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead.
if there happen to
Because they
be any
can't drink
liquor
alcohol anyway, they
distributors,
can only drink blood.
Well, I just wanted an alcoholic version. If you want to make an alcoholic kindred version, that's fine too.
smoking totes. What's a Boilermaker around you? I've heard it called many different things.
Where I'm from, a Boilermaker is a shot and a beer. You do not mix them. You do not mix them.
Exactly. It's a shot.
However, you take a shot and then you chase it by chugging your beer because you
Why
drink a
don't you
shitty
just order
shot
a
and a
shot of
shitty
beer? Why
beer.
do they call it a Boilermaker?
That's just the name for it.
Yeah.
Because it bubbles in your stomach.
Technically, it's you take the shot, you pour it in the beer, and then you drink it. That is, yeah, but it's not the way I've ever seen it done.
That's not. Yeah. My father was big on Boilermakers, so I drank them a lot too. But it was never mixed.
Your dad was a
Literally
Boilermaker.
Boilermaker, so
Your dad was a Boilermaker.
and they drank a lot of Boilermakers, but they were never mixed. They were just take the shot, chase it with beer.
In the area, whenever I'd go to a bar or anything, they'd always have a special. Order a shot and a can of PBR, and they would serve you just a rail shot of bourbon and a PBR, and you'd pound the bourbon and then you drink the PBR, and it's just kind of like the let's get started tonight sort of thing.
Nice. All right, let's get back to it. At this point, Bjorn, you've arrived at the rundown townhouse that Theo not necessarily lives in all the time, but makes his quote-unquote visitable haven. And you can hear Theo and what you can expect to be Rebecca already talking inside.
I would also
Um,
text and invite Abe and whoever he wants to bring along.
About what happened, and Theo texted me.
Theo texted you to say we're gathering the you in the city to talk about this upcoming nonsense and the tensions in the city.
I will respond first with any luck from Rebecca.
I'm just gonna text back. I work fast, but not that fast. And then I'll add at the end. I'll just do a quick text afterward. She laughed. Does it look good?
Okay, then I will invite Luther and Dinah.
Cosnard should hear at his front door.
I'll open the door and look him over. I'm not buying any fucking Bibles.
I'm sorry, have you heard about our Lord Alcohol? He makes whores out of men and men out of whores.
That's some really fucking weird flesh crafting shit, but come on in.
Rebecca will step forward and give him a big hug.
Give Bjorn a big hug. He'll at first kind of awkwardly just like, okay, and then accept it and, kind of pat you in the back and walk on inside.
Yeah, after she lets go of the hug, he's gonna lean in. He thinks you're cute.
That's legit her reaction. She'll just fucking laugh.
Bjorn will then lean in. It wasn't a secret.
She didn't know that, though. Come on, let's go upstairs.
Lead the way.
So I'll lead them up. How was your conversation? Is everything looking okay for Mardi Gras?
Look, it's not going as easy as I was hoping it was all going to go. The Lupine apparently have their fucking panties in a twist and are going to make this far too complicated that I expressed my thoughts very clearly to Travers, and apparently the Lupine are all kinds of shit. They're upset over whatever the technocracy has been doing, and I really don't see how the technocracy's misdeeds are any of our problem. But apparently we're caught up in all of this, and we have to play babysitters to how many different supernaturals in the city to make sure shit doesn't hit the fan, and needless to say, it's not looking good.
Why does everyone have to ruin my favorite fucking weeks of the year? Well, unfortunately, on that subject, me and Rebecca were just talking about these technophiles. The prince apparently wants one. Well, Abraham wants one, and I only assume the prince asked for it.
Are they pets? The prince wants one?
No,
Let's
they're
be
crazy.
going in a technophile today.
He wants one alive or its location or something, and Rebecca wasn't exactly forthcoming with finding one.
Well, yeah, because they want to kill us, so I don't have their number.
Yes, but we're already dead, so where are they?
They want to kill me, so I don't have their number.
Don't worry, I'll let you eat a bit of me, you'll be fine. Could probably take a fucking sword to the chest after my voodoo.
Theo, take 10 seconds and think about what you just said. Who on God's green planet wants to put any amount of you inside their mouth?
I mean, that's not what your mother said last century, but whatever.
Well, I mean, that was before she got syphilis, so...
My mother was alive last century? And you withheld this information from me? For how long? I could have had so many experiences with my mother. She could have taken me to the park. We could have had a picnic. She could have told me she loved me for the first time in my entire life.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't look so good holding a battle axe, you sissy. Keep on track. Anyway, if we're gonna find one, how do we go about it, Miss Mage?
You don't. You don't go about it. You don't find them.
We're going about it.
But no.
We're doing it now.
Rebecca, theoretically, just assume that we've taken all the proper precautions. We're not as retarded as this one seems to be. How would we go about this?
Break the masquerade so flagrantly that you make everyone's head spin. They'll find you.
So, what's your... Wait. In order to find them, I need to break the masquerade. Which means if we're all keeping the peace, they never appear?
I mean...
That's the general idea, but it doesn't really always ever work forever.
How bad do we have to fuck up? 'Cause, I'm kind of a pro.
I love you, Uncle Theo.
I'm pretty fucking cool, I think. But seriously, like, zombie dog in the bayou isn't enough? What do I have to, like, walk outside and announce my presence to the world?
That one. Yeah.
The prince would bitch so much about that. Do you even know?
I but
really don't want to hear how much the prince is gonna bitch.
I'm telling you it shouldn't be done. You're asking me how it can be done, and I'm telling you technically this is how you might do it.
I'm gonna text the prince. I can get what you're looking for, but I have to do something bad.
Okay.
Anyways, can we bring the conversation back around and off of these fucking technocrats who apparently don't matter unless the Masquerade's been breached, so as long as none of us breach the Masquerade, apparently we have absolutely nothing to worry about. Let's bring this... I'm sorry, then what...
Well, they'll like, if they want something, they're going to take it. It's just, they might not notice you if you're really quiet.
I'm not sure I know how to be quiet.
I've killed enough fucking Sedites on my territory. I'll kill the fucking technocrats too. And their technophilic fucking babies or whatever the hell.
They are really into machines.
So
anyways.
So how are Luther and Dinah making it over after I invite them, out of curiosity?
Yes, that would be a good spot to check in on now.
Did I give you a ride, Dinah?
Sure.
Sure. Then we'll drive in my car.
Then I will catch a ride if that is okay.
Oh, well, small problem on that. It's a 2-seater. It's a Lotus. Unless you want to sit on Dinah's lap, but Dinah wants to sit on your lap, I can
I can get a lift.
I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting this to happen.
No, that's quite right.
Yeah, I'll get in the car and very loudly rev the engine and drive off.
You're so rude. I love it.
Show off. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to order a Lyft and an Uber, and whoever gets there first, that's who gets more money.
Is he a good tipper? At the end of it, is he one of those guys that's
please.
surprising people with way too
No.
Oh, yeah.
much money?
I bet he gives the rest of whatever dollar it is.
Here's my $200 tip for my $3
yes.
ride.
Yeah, because it's money is such an abstract concept for him at this point that he doesn't know how much a normal person wants.
I love it.
It's
So
inflation,
it's
what is
$100
it, $200 now?
That's right. Yeah, 200. And
here's
he'll be
here's
a
a
little
dollar.
bit
A dollar's still worth a lot.
No, Abraham
Best part, of course,
misheard someone say 20% and heard 200%.
Yeah, and the best part, of course, being he dresses like a hobo.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, but
So
is it
a
like
hobo
Shabby
gets an-
Chic? Is it like Derelict? What are we talking?
I dress like a hobo. I shop primarily at
Is it
Goodwill
like
for
a
my day-to-day
brand
clothes.
suit, but it's meant to look like trash?
No, I shop primarily at Goodwill for my day-to-day clothes.
My
Okay.
favorite thing to do is I've gone to diners a lot, and I'm just going there to hang out with someone, and I would just get coffee, maybe an appetizer, and you can kind of see the waitress be like, fuck, I'm not gonna get anything off this table, they're probably gonna be here for 4 hours, and I leave a tip that equates to a very large meal, because I always consider it by time, not necessarily what I spend, because it's you kept
you
coming by
should.
my table, and I know I wasted your table if other people were coming by, and they usually don't know till I leave, and I just walk away with that smug attitude, I'm a good tipper. Anyway.
The good tipper walk. I know
Yeah.
it well.
All right, so yeah, Abraham, you got that text. You guys are heading over to Theo's place. Bjorn, you were already there for a little bit talking with them. A few minutes later, the two Toreadors and the Venture arrive. What did we say about knocking wood around here?
You. We're all vampires. What is bad for us?
I'll walk down and leave Rebecca and Bjorn together in the room and answer the door.
Theo.
What is it? Fucking Christmas caroling time?
It's Luther at the door. She will ask to go to the bathroom. Is there a bathroom here?
I don't know why you need
It's
my
an old human townhouse. I don't know if it works, but there's a bathroom.
Wait, so you say is Luther here? I'm gonna go use the restroom?
Yeah. I mean, she's not going to say, is Luther here? But if she sees that he's here, she's going to go to the bathroom.
Well, you're upstairs, so you wouldn't quite see him when I answer the door.
Oh, okay.
Hear him?
You might hear him talking to me.
Yeah, if she hears that he's there, she will go and excuse herself to the restroom.
I'll open the door and look at him and be like, "How much you want to bet to come inside?"
Oh, well, now. I have a coin in my pocket if you want to make this something more interesting.
He'll pull out a coin too. All right, 25 cents. You trip walking in.
Oh, yeah.
Dinah pushes him. You win. Let's go inside, please.
That's a quarter. Come on in, guys.
All right.
We're all upstairs.
And then, of course, because I didn't catch the ride in the Lotus, and I imagine Luther drives fast.
Luther has some points in driving, and he does drive a little.
He has a
quick.
couple points. Just
Which means
just
that I will be
essentially
showing
the max.
Which means I will be showing up a little bit later because I have to wait for my ride and then also let them follow the speed limit.
Yeah. All right. So Abraham will show up a tiny bit late, but right now everybody save Abraham is there.
Just a quick... I want to put up a mind shield. That's why she's excused herself to the restroom.
Sure.
Because she does not trust these people.
Sure. Is that just a simple like 1 or 2 sphere?
It is a first sphere of mind.
Okay.
So base 3 plus mind 1 makes DC of 4.
As I let them in, I'll ask.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll for that then.
As I let them in, hey Dinah, where's Abe?
Well, he should be following us shortly.
All right, I'll wait here. You know he's sort of challenged with doorways.
Is he?
I think everyone would know about that. That's not like.
Oh, that's right. He has to be invited in. I forgot about that.
Might not know, but everyone else definitely would. Except
Well,
maybe
we
Rebecca.
all know now.
He doesn't see how that can be used against you that hard.
When she...
I did decide last game that it'll be essentially a permanent okay, with the exceptions of one, say if someone says something specifically like you can come in tonight, like if someone says words like that'll be one thing, or if they revoke it verbally. Just as long as you verbally say anything about like you can only come into my house tonight or I revoke your entrance. Otherwise, if you invite him in, we're gonna go with he's fine with that place going on.
However,
Does
that
Theo
does
not
mean
come off
Theo's
as the kind
not
of
gonna
person-
control me.
As I said, does Theo not come off like the kind of person who will drag a joke on for 200 years just to piss someone off?
No, absolutely. So I was just clarifying. You have to then say like you can come in tonight, or at the end of the night say you're not welcome again.
Yeah,
I wanted to clarify the rules of the flaw.
Yeah.
But when Abraham shows up, he'll just be sitting in the doorway and watch him get out of the car.
You would.
So I will tip the who showed up first, and did they deserve my my stars?
You know what? I'll do a roll, because why not? Alright, yeah, no, guy showed up quick, was courteous, and had a nice balanced flow of, like, would be chatty if you wanted to chat, and quiet if you showed a sign that you wanted to just have a quiet ride.
Then I will tip him, a reasonable amount, $300.
So you
I'm, like,
go ahead.
Not even realize.
You try to tip this guy. He is actually going to kind of push off, like, no, man, like, I can't take that much.
Is that enough?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Is that enough? Am I? I'll reach for more.
No, guy. That's awesome.
I'll yell from the door. Take the money, idiot! I got shit to do.
Guy's gonna look very awkward and just give you a Nana smile. Thanks, man, and get ready to go.
Yeah, then I'll get out with no second thought about it.
I love this character.
As you hobble up to the door, Theo will, like, bow to the side out of the way. Enter, sir!
Theo, are you in mask at the door?
No, not unless there's, like, a bunch of people around.
Okay.
It's dark. There's no lights inside. There's no porch light. There's no light inside.
Fine.
the house.
Alright, fine. Should have made
There's
you
no
roll
light in the
earlier,
house,
but
just
I'll let
dark.
it slide for the first episode. I gotta remember to make you roll for those, though. Anyway, if you're not and it's dark, that's okay. That's fine. Abraham, you walk in and you can already hear people inside chatting quietly.
With his grand spectacle, I will flip him off as I walk through the door.
With Rebecca returned downstairs, she will try and either hug or shake everybody's hands, depending on how they kind of react to any kind of closing
I'll
of
take
space.
a hug. Sure.
Yeah.
I think you have all essentially met Rebecca before. If you've only, like, maybe heard of her, you at least immediately recognize her as human, beating blood, all that stuff, because it's your prey, and you know that Theo has talked about her before.
Hello, Rebecca. It's great to see you again.
It's good to see you, Dinah, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
I thought your name was Dina.
I've told you this at least 100 times in the last 50 years.
Let's make
It's
it 51.
Dinah.
51 times is the charm.
Well, twice a year isn't the worst,
No,
I've heard.
You know what? I give up. All right, so
It's a
This
pleasure.
is not the
Make-
first time you've said this, Tina. Which
thank you, Abraham. I appreciate that.
Regardless, it is a pleasure to see you again, Dina. Dinah. God.
Thank you, Bjorn.
Do Elvish and I have to sing the fucking song?
Oh, no. I usually call her Dinah. I was being a bit of a troll that time.
Elvish. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah.
No.
Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. That's how that song goes.
So, Dinah, do you play the trumpet? Because if you can't blow your horn, you're wrong.
I do play the
Okay,
trumpet
so Dinah does blow
and
her.
the trombone and the piano.
She's a goddamn jazz singer who's
That
been
one's not
dead
a
for
horn.
long enough to learn whatever she wants to learn.
Yeah, but the piano's not a horn.
No, it's percussion.
All right. Let's get back to it.
I'm gonna, after Rebecca's done introducing everyone, I'm gonna, smile. Rebecca, come here. I need to show you something real quick. Everyone, talk amongst yourselves. We'll be right back.
Excuse me,
Only be a second.
in only...
Come on, I want to give you something. Come on.
Absolutely.
Everyone else would
listening in.
notice the house is just full of curios, animal skulls, coins, gems, some jewels, bags, all
Tchotchkes.
sorts of stuff.
The term
Tchotchkes. All
is
the tchotchkes.
Alright, so what we'll actually do is, I want to focus on Bjorn, Luther, Abraham, and Diana real quick while the other two disappear, and how you interact and discuss your interesting separate evenings, at least the 3 and the 1.
I probably beeline for my the chair that I have that is in this place that I have sat in for the past 200 years.
Oh, he's got some new bird skulls. That's pleasant.
With my, he'll just walk around with his hands in his pocket, but he will, if I could, I'd do a check to see if there's anything interesting occult-wise. Anything that seems like it could be magical or...
I mean, that's the entire place.
Okay.
Can you
It
give
certainly
me...
fits the aesthetic.
Can you give me something a little more specific? Because, yeah, no, literally his place is decked with that stuff.
Anything more rare? Something on the rare end. Something that I might, see and just be like, oh my, yes, I want this.
Sure. Alright, 1 second.
While you're doing that, I'm definitely gonna try and listen in on what Rebecca and Theo are doing with us.
While I do, do you think he's just gonna do some gross, foul magic trick for her?
If 200 years are any sign, yes, he is.
Really quick. Would Theo keep blood bags in this place?
No.
He doesn't have a blood fridge that's just full of blood bags.
Then you would find Bjorn going through every fridge and cabinet looking very disgusted that there is no refreshments in this place.
Alright, Luther, you can go ahead and roll me intelligence and occult, but it is going to be difficulty 8 because there's such a mess of stuff around. It's like you're going to be picking stuff up and being like, what is... Oh, it's a paperweight, and putting it down again.
While you're going through the fridge and stuff, though, Bjorn, you would find a couple Gree bags that he stored for later.
Go ahead and explain Grigris again.
They're pouches, essentially. They're very small pouches of, usually made from a bit of his skin, that have got a few other little charms and things in them that he will feed to people. You guys might be aware, those of you who know him better, that they actually give, they can allow humans that he likes and he sells them to take a truckload of a beating and still survive easily.
Alright, also, Luther got 1 success on looking for especially rare, not generic, not standard voodoo stuff. He's looking for something very out of the ordinary. Out of your collection, can you tell him at least 1 thing he would spot?
Sorry. I was reading, notice something he might spot?
Luther's looking for specifically rare, interesting, not run-of-the-mill, anything he could find in any other curio shop, or even genuine voodoo mama's house. Can you tell him 1 thing he might have spotted in your giant hoarder collection?
He would notice a shrunken kind of skull, a small-looking skull, that is, and it looks like a real skull, but impossibly small, with actual jewels for eyes, and some, sort of slightly flaking, very old-looking paint on it.
Alright, so as Luther's looking around for interesting trinkets, Abraham and Dinah, you're also on the same floor. Do you have anything else you wanted to discuss as far as what you've heard so far in the night, or your ideas about the city? Pretty straightforward?
Not really. One, I'm listening, I'm trying to listen to what Theo and
Right, all of us
Rebecca
are.
up to.
Like you said, talk amongst yourself, and not a single one of us is say a word wrong. Right, listen, just knowing of this group.
Yeah, at least both of you,
Austin,
yeah.
actually.
Alright,
If I
heighten
don't
aspects?
hear anything, there is something I will do. But
Okay.
I want to try and hear something.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys are on first floor. Theo, did you take Rebecca to the second or third floor?
I took her up to the third floor to the attic.
Okay, and...
Like, to the farthest point of the house I could get from what I know are very, very nosy vampires.
I
Okay.
specifically have a specialty in eavesdropping.
You
I
do.
would know that.
Yes, you would.
You do, and I was gonna say, even with Auspex 1 and even with a good high perception, that will be far enough that unless you try to quietly make your way up to at least the second floor, you won't hear anything. So let me know if you actually want to, sneak up further or not.
Nah.
Okay. Alright, then Theo, what did
I'm
you want to
just
tell
nosy.
Rebecca?
Hey, what's the attic look like? Sorry.
And
same as the first and
Bjorn,
second
were you
floor.
with them or downstairs with everybody?
Oh, I'm just downstairs biding my time.
Okay.
Yeah, Theo's not gonna be long. The attic is going to look, especially like all the walls are stacked up pretty high with animal and people skulls. Lots of coins you'll notice, like just every different kind of coin that you could think of, just sitting all over the place. Some inscribings on the floor, and like a lot of melted down candles that aren't lit right now.
Not super being able to help herself. She will really immediately kind of gravitate towards the skulls and not touching them, but like getting close enough to really inspect them. And then trying to do the same with coins, but again, just not wanting to touch anything.
You'll smile seeing you getting close to the skulls. Easy, that's how I got syphilis, you know?
No. No, I did not know.
Oh, well, I'll tell you the story later. One of these are my ex-wives. I forget which one. They all look the same after a while. Anyway.
I can help you find out if you want. I mean, not right now, but...
But I've never been married. What are you talking about? And he's gonna, drop the, joke kind of act and look serious for a second. Listen, Rebecca. I know you're powerful, and you're strong, and you can hold your own, and I trust you. Be careful with this group. You do not want to owe any of them any debts, and you do not want to catch yourself off guard. I consider them all my friends, but you never know when a knife can end up in your back.
Yeah, no, she'll sober up, and, Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Deals with vampires kind of go the same way as deals with the devil, especially for someone who's, as short-lived as yourself.
Hey, we're making a lot of assumptions here. I've got a good 160, 70 years left in me.
He's gonna can you really?
She's not gonna say anything.
Oh, that's not fair. Anyway, come on. I'm sure they're all trying to listen in anyway.
All right.
She'll give him a hug before leaving.
Let's head back down. What does Luther do with this skull?
Oh, I'm assuming you have a chair and there's probably a table right in front of you.
No, because I'm assuming that I have some kind of recliner that has been sitting in the same spot for 200 years, and that is my chair, and I will beat anyone who tries to sit in it.
Pretty much. I pretty much allow you have free reign in and out. You live here too. It's fine.
I'm assuming there is a table, though, correct?
Oh no, there's a table and a bunch of chairs, as well as the recliner, a fireplace, a few other accoutrements, and then just all the curio everywhere. One of the chairs might be piled up with some stuff.
Bjorn will be sitting at said table in one of the chairs, reclined back with an empty glass in front of him, looking very, very upset that his glass is empty.
Luther will walk up and he'll put it on the table and he'll take a seat and just wait for Theo to come back.
If he does something that visible, I'm saying, would you mind if I see that? Because
it's not old and decrepit enough that if we mishandle it'll fall apart. Spira, can I chuck it across the room, or would I?
The skull?
Yeah.
It's kind of leathery. It seems safe, but you might not want to throw it. Maybe at least get up and hand it to him.
You sure you don't want me to roll for a throw? See how that.
If you want to, my
Then
dear,
presumably I
my
have to roll
dear-
for a catch.
destructive wild Roland, go ahead and roll.
Try like an underhand, but it turned into like the worst throw. Just basically.
Let me hold on 1 second.
No, no. I'm not. I'll walk up and I'll hand it to him.
Is Chard learning not
Good,
to be
because
so destructive?
catching is maybe not my thing. Like I could probably do it.
Maybe
But-
Luther can roll, guys. We don't know.
It's been like
no. Chocolate
don't
Bear.
try.
We know how you roll. Do not roll dice.
Do it.
Chocolate Bear.
I want you to.
Oh,
I want
but-
you to botch and throw over hand out the window or something. I need to see this.
You'd feel too guilty. He has high humanity. He doesn't want to break anything. He'll come in and hand it to you.
Because what I want to do is I want to, what's it called? Spirit's touch, I believe, this. Just because there's so many
Yeah.
weird knickknacks in here that I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
every time I come in here I grab something and I'm like, what's this?
Alright. Spirit's touch is.
Perception empathy versus varies by age.
Yeah, so Theo, can you tell me about how old this skull is specifically? Is this like recent? 100 years? 200?
I'd say it's about 175 years old. It's from when I was younger. It's very old. It's definitely from my traveling on ships days.
Then difficulty 8. No botch, though. It's gonna be pass or fail.
So 3 successes.
Alright, Koznar, tell him about that skull. Ate my toy. By the way, I'm gonna try to use the phrase more often now when I call out perception rolls. You don't ask for them. If I say do it, I will try to always clarify it, but essentially if I tell you guys for something like a perception roll, it'll probably be pass or fail instead of like botch because I said to do it. But so this one could have been botched. I'm okay with it being pass or fail, so I'll just try to use that phrase from now on though.
The skull's history would be dating back to African origin when he was kind of moonlighting around learning about being undead. He was still pretty fresh. Meeting the Baron Samedi, maybe. But his child, his sire, going around Africa, dealing with the slave trade, hiding on slave ships because lots of food. But it would be from an actual witch doctor in Africa. It was a shrunken skull that they had. He didn't make the skull himself. But it was also the rubies were boiled in like the blood of like 20 different people. In vats, like each of the rubies were boiled in their blood, and it's infused, I assume, in some mechanical way we'll figure out later, with like the pain and torture and essence of these individuals.
Alright, cool.
And then the paint would have some different Voodoo sort of significance attached to the different paints and what they ascribe to the value of the item, or, you know.
Yeah.
But like very, very, you could tell very old paint, not like modern latex paint or anything like that. It's not a blood diamond char.
Yeah, it was a ruby soaked in their blood, right?
It's a ruby. It's a blood ruby.
Yeah, rubies.
All
are
right,
diamonds.
Theo and Rebecca, are you wrapping up?
I think so.
Oh yeah, we're heading downstairs. She
Yeah.
gave me a hug. I pat her on the head. We walked downstairs.
Yep, that's what I thought. Okay. So the rest
I
of
will
you,
just I will just hand it back to him and say you have interesting taste.
Yeah, I'll take it and I'll go sit down at the table next to Bjorn.
It's Bjorn, thank you, with a Y.
Then you call me Dinah.
So as a quick little recap, Theo, you're well on the know. You know about these tensions with the lupine and the mages coming along. You've been the closest with Rebecca, and probably one of the few kindred to actually have fostered a good relationship with a mage, like, in all of the city. Luther, Abraham, and Dinah, you just left a meeting with the prince that basically left you all in the know that he is concerned, if not, at worst, paranoid, that things are going to go a little topsy-turvy with this upcoming festival, Mardi Gras. And Bjorn, you were speaking with Uriah Travers, who knows probably even more about the city and the minor workings on that go on, especially among the supernatural, than even Theo. Like, Theo's just behind him, but Uriah's the one you want to go to if you really need that final answer, but he's not easy to give it up, and even he seemed, if he didn't know things, he said he would try and find them. If he did know them, maybe he wasn't giving them up. So you at least understand that Uriah is minimally concerned, or not even concerned for others, because you know he's a hermit, he doesn't really care, but he knows things are going toward topsy-turvy.
We'll walk down back into the room. Ah, friends, how are you? Enjoy the refreshments. He's gonna say, looking at Bjorn's glass.
Bjorn will, futilely hold the glass up to him and just kind of shake it and be like, "It's been very refreshing. I appreciate your hospitality tonight."
Good on you, Automod. Holy shit. But, last I checked, this was, you were invited here in my domain. Have you forgotten how to hunt, Viking boy?
Very well, Theo. Anyways, we
have more trouble hunting than the cripple.
Thank you, Abe.
Oh, you mean
Yes, we can continue the banter all fucking night if you guys wish. Or we can get down to business because it's not easy to get the lot of us all inside one room together.
Please, I agree.
Can we please get to business?
Theo will sit down at the table and offer the chair next to him to Rebecca.
Yeah, she'll sit down. Do you mean the business of finding technocrats?
No.
Later. We'll talk about that later.
Let's start with the lupine first. So to fill the rest of you all in, I've been meeting with my source earlier tonight. I have some disturbing news that there is a lot of unrest amongst several of the clans of the lupine, and that they are getting very agitated because of the predation of the technocrats. This does not serve us very well, and I explicitly made it abundantly clear that during this specific month and this few weeks that none of us, neither the lupine nor the mages nor the kindred, deserve this kind of media attention. I mean, it's fucking Mardi Gras, for fuck's sake. Everyone has their eyes on New Orleans for a couple weeks of the entire year. Nobody gives a shit about the rest of the year. It's simply Mardi Gras. And, of course, the lupine are all up in a rage. I expect this is some sort of technocratic plot in order to cause unrest and disturbances, and force us to deal with them, and just deal with them we will regardless. However, one of the clans of the lupine are very upset with the current terms of the treaty. And because of this, they're getting very agitated, and we all know what happened when lupine get agitated.
This time of year.
Let's not jump to conspiracy theories. We all know the Camarilla can be plenty big enough assholes on their own. They don't need some technophilic frigging machine lovers to deal with them. The relations with the lupine have been going downhill since they kicked your kind out of the city, and you know it.
source of the agitation aside, the agitation still exists. Look, I offered to personally meet with the Lupine and resolve the conflicts myself. I am more than happy to go and have words with the Lupine in order to renegotiate or settle anything, because apparently the prince has been slack in his duties on this. Apparently there's...
And he's doubtful to change.
And I
Prince
will
is a Ventrue,
personally take it upon myself to rectify that. I have no
the
problem.
Ventrue bastard isn't about to bow knee to a bunch of dogs in the woods.
And that's
He'll
irrelevant.
look over at Abe. No offense.
I will
What?
silently flip you off.
What one brown-nosed bastard won't do doesn't matter what I will do. I've already made it abundantly clear that I will meet with the Lupine, and I will seek to rectify the situation in any way possible. None of us want all-out war.
What do you plan on doing?
Peace. Talking. Negotiating. Certainly those are terms that you can agree to as well.
It's not about if we agree, it's about if the prince agrees.
Unfortunately, I have to agree there. I do completely agree with you being a good emissary. I think you would do a fantastic job in negotiating with them. They seem to understand you. But, what authority do you have to negotiate with? Can you give them pieces of land? And if so, whose, and what happens there?
And furthermore, what do you have to offer? I mean, yes,
That's what I just said.
Yeah, well...
What do I have to offer? The support of, I don't know, the five of us? Is that not nearly enough? We have resources to the command. We have desires to keep peace, at least for a little while. Even if I can bargain for simply a month or two of armistice before anything happens, that'll still be a victory in my mind.
I'd like to come with you.
We have insiders and outsiders here. Not that I didn't invite you all into my home. But...
this is just as
It's
important
a bit presumptuous from our side of the table with, the Blue Bloods here. Abe aside, of course.
Listen, I have no respect for a prince who refuses to rule. If he's going to cower behind some imaginary wall of his, he's no prince. So for the meanwhile...
Except for the part where he is.
And that is precisely the kind of talk as to why I'm the only gangrel in the city.
Hey, you're not, but okay.
Hyperbole to mean that a lot of them had left.
Sure, okay.
I know a little bit about respecting a cairn and the land that they call sacred. I would like to come with you.
That's... so far they have yet to actually agree to communicate with me and hold any sort of conference. But if I can...
Also, I don't know if they want a magic user on their land. Isn't that kind of the problem?
It's better than, well...
I can't see how an emissary from yet another political party could hold any ill will. It brings more voices to the table.
It could be a show of good faith if she does show up.
To bring one of the traditional types and show that not all of their kind are with the technophiles, as you love to call them.
And that we can fight fire with fire, so to say.
Well, you know I love the damn dogs. They're more than welcome in my city for all I care. They've been here since when? Since before this fucking prince.
And they will be here since after this prince.
Spiros, what was the name of the previous prince?
Doran. Doran.
Me and Doran worked with them pretty closely. It was always a good relationship. I didn't need some snooty fucking blue-blooded bastard to come in here and ruin the deal.
And we all know the Lupine are like vermin and they will never properly be eradicated from anything. So we may as well let diplomacy reign.
Again, preaching to the choir. what about the prince? Although,
What
if you
about
can
the
convince
prince?
them, if we can convince them, the dogs, that we need, or we want to get after some of these technocrat people, maybe they'll work with us. You know just as well as I'll kill any fucking magical thing that walks into my domain other than her. I like her.
Theo, I could care less about what the prince has to offer or not. That's for us to deal with. As far as I'm concerned, I'm willing to make whatever promises I am able to the Lupine in order to maintain peace. The prince has charged me with one directive, and that is to maintain the Masquerade in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. And as far as I'm concerned, I will maintain that, which gives me the duty to act in the prince's behalf and maintain the Masquerade. So I will make what promises I need to.
I mean, they're not really a part of the traditions, but I guess. Werewolves probably don't look good for supernatural kind.
It causes them just as much hassle as it causes us.
I would rather them fight the technocrats than us.
I'd rather find one, put his fucking head on a plate.
And what would you do with the head later?
I don't know, probably fuck it or something, who cares?
Do you still have a penis?
I've got like 4, haven't you been paying attention? He's
try
gonna
not to
like
pay attention to
Thanatos out a bit of his arm into the shape of like a penis.
No!
No!
I'll roll for it, I can do it! I'll roll for it, I can do it!
I said no.
No, but he did say the 4 part. He doesn't actually Thanatos anything yet.
So, do any of
I
you
agree
guys
with
have...
you. I think that keeping the peace with the Lupine in the city is a higher priority than keeping the prince happy, so to speak. Especially, I don't mind having to pay some kind of a minor political anything after that. That's fine. But it is necessary to keep everything quiet. And I don't think they would feel particularly amenable to speaking with me. But if they would, I would be happy to.
I'm sure Bjorn here will make a fine emissary. He goes back since the pact was made with me in this city. He knows them. He should do just great.
I'm sure he will. He is, like I said, they seem to understand him. I worry about, I suppose, him representing all of us and all of our interests. Not that I don't think that Peace with the Lupines is worth giving up a few places. But I would like to establish beforehand what's on the table to give.
We give no territory. No one here has territory to give other than I, and I am not budging. They got their territory with Doran. They still sit on it. We're still going to protect the truce we made. It just needs to be reinforced.
And,
I don't think that's going to be enough this time.
Well, then they can all get fucked by mages, I guess.
Theo, that's not very productive language.
Bjorn, there was an agreement. Some of us, I'm sure you included, are honorable no matter how yellow-bellied our prince is. Let them know that.
Expanded.
Despite the fact that you and I both remember the agreement, the Lupine are not so long-lived. None of the current Lupine alive signed that agreement. They need it to be reinforced inside their minds.
He makes a point.
Which means a bit of renegotiating.
Just as you or I would not like to be held to the sins of your father, neither would the Lupine. We need to remember this and keep that in perspective.
Fair point, Bjorn. As much as I hate to admit it.
I am right on occasion.
More than I like. Well, what do we have that they want? And no, they're not getting land.
I agree with you. The land is very clearly
They
communicated.
don't want our land anyway. They
I
have
don't
the
think
forests.
They want land in the city.
Yeah, they want their forests. I'm fine with staying out of the forest.
We're all in
Do
agreement.
we not want the same thing, these technocrat bastards? Why not focus on that?
Theo, we're all in agreement on what exactly this is. Why it's just as disturbing to me that the Octena and the rest of the Lupine are upset. I don't know what they're complaining about, because we've respected the agreements that we have signed.
We have respected it.
Which means
I don't know about we, though.
And if we have broken a promise, we can hold them accountable to it. Because that makes just as much of a liar out of me and you as it does anyone else.
He's gonna, elbow Rebecca. Not elbow, just, nudge her a little bit, lean over. Deals with the devil, you see.
She laughs.
Regardless, we're assuming too much. I need to speak with the Lupine, and I would welcome Rebecca's as an emissary of the mage folk.
Just don't let her get eaten. I kind of like her.
I think she has more to fear from our kind than she does from the Lupine.
Fair point. She is tasty looking.
If I remember correctly, they do specifically have a rule against consuming her flesh, where we don't.
Barbecues are barbecues. What are you looking at me for?
Because of that statement, a little bit. That's why I'm looking at you.
Oh, I don't.
Well, y'all were meeting with the prince. What do you think?
He's just as worried as all of us are. He just has some fears that there's going to be a little bit too much noise during Mardi Gras.
Which I can appreciate, which means he's come to me and requested my assistance in this endeavor, and he's asked for me to keep the peace. So I am going to endeavor to keep the peace. That means I'm acting on the word of the prince to keep the peace in whatever manner I need to. And of course, I'm not going to give everything away to the Lupine in order to maintain it. However, I'll do my due diligence. Which means I feel that I am acting in proper accords to speak for the prince in this endeavor.
Oh, the prince asked us all to help him, even though he didn't invite me, the bastard.
As a man who likes to think a couple of steps ahead, what exactly would we do if they don't want to go peacefully? What if they say time for peace is over?
Then I would try to direct their actions towards the technocracy and away from the kindred.
And how would you do that?
I would remind them that we have done nothing to incite their ire, and if we have, I would make restitutions for it. And I would remind them about...
Here, puppy!
That does
I
not
would
help.
find a cat and slit its throat and rub it on a mage. Is that what you're looking for me to say?
No, Bjorn.
Did you say
why
find
are
a
you
cat?
so serious all the time?
I'm serious about the Lupine.
We're dead. We're not dead.
I'm so serious when I'm welcomed into an abode with no refreshments. And again, he'll kind of waggle his dry glass at you. I've had nothing to loosen me up.
I'm going to text one of my allies and tell them to swing by with some blood packs.
Yeah, and it takes a second, but they text back to be there.
Yeah, no, it before when the moment he kind of wiggles his glass, Rebecca's kind of gonna sit a little further back.
Is this noticeable enough that Bjorn's gonna, of course, notice it?
Yeah, maybe.
Rebecca, please do not take offense to this action. I'm more in control than a slight craving to drive me insane. No, you have nothing to fear from me.
She'll nod and relax a little more. Thank you.
This was more a slight at Theo because he knows my appetite and still refuses to stock the refrigerator after... I'm sorry, when were they invented?
What do I look like, a historian? 1847? I don't know.
I don't think
know
that's...
why you have trouble hunting for yourself, but...
Right? If the fucking cripple can do it, surely you can, Your Majesty.
I will wave my cane at him.
Rebecca
It's not that I have
look
trouble
over.
hunting for myself. It's simple manners. If you invite somebody over, you offer them a refreshment. There's no difference between kind culture than there is kindred in this matter. He welcomed me into his house, and I expected a refreshment.
He'll just lead over to Rebecca.
If we
So
could
this
go,
changed since blood bags were invented.
if we could go back on topic, Bjorn, is there anything the rest of us could do to help you with your mission of peace with the werewolves?
I am not 100% sure at the moment. The main thing that I would assume needs to be done is tracking down the technocrats, and so any information we have on the technocrats about what specifically they've been doing against the lupine in order to rouse their ire would be much appreciated, whether we can track down specific members of the technocrats or anything about them. This is the sort of information that is going to be invaluable at the moment in any negotiation.
Or, Rebecca, we get a technocrat. You would be surprised what I can do to someone without killing.
We give them to the lupine. That is a good gift.
I'm not worried that
Don't
you're
think they
going
would
to
come
hurt
back
them.
trying to
I'm
look
worried that they're
for some-
going to hurt you.
Nah, I've lived long enough.
What exactly are they
Speak
capable
for yourself,
of?
Theo.
Pain? They're just not good people. They hurt you because they find it educational.
Have you ever had personal experience with them?
No.
Sounds like a Jamisi if I ever heard one.
Now, do they hide in more plain sight, or are they going to be down in sewers, or where exactly are these folk going to be at?
They are in plain sight.
Any way of, I don't know, any kind of uniform, as silly as that sounds, but any kind of identifiers, anything you can
Yeah.
see and be like, this is a
We do have a fun nickname for them. We call them Men in Black. So sometimes you see them wearing what you see Will Smith wearing in that movie.
Are you talking about
Who's
a
those-
black suit with sunglasses in the middle?
Is that your boyfriend? Are you going to introduce him to me?
So they look like G-men? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly so. I mean, not always.
Great.
But it's a little bit the stereotype we've made for them.
So they look like most of the people I interact with.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know who you interact with.
Money
businessman.
types.
Is there anything you can tell us about them? How they think, maybe what kind of values they have?
It spawns from a desire to protect humanity, but it is so extreme that anything that isn't is a threat.
So there is no negotiating with them, essentially?
Not that I've heard of.
So a face-to-face with them probably wouldn't work out the best, but somebody out there has to know them, right? Are they secretive types,
Yeah.
or would they be a hard bunch to find?
No, like I told my Uncle Theo and Bjorn here, if you want to find them, just endanger humanity in as supernatural a way as you possibly can.
I imagine, Spira, over the past, 200 years that I've been in the city, I have seen some lupine. Yes? And, identified them and known that they were lupine at the time, perhaps?
Yeah.
Do I know about their aura looking different?
Just repeat the question because I didn't understand.
Okay.
Like, do you mean like
What I know
seeing them as
Guru
human?
auras? What I know that Guru auras look different.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Okay, if you didn't know why these auras are different, you would at least, when looking at someone who was Guru, so I'll say it this way. Guru have auras that look like human auras, but brilliantly much brighter and colorful. So, say the first time you maybe saw one, you would recognize that, like, they're probably not necessarily human, or something else is different about them if they're human. And then if you ever encountered a situation where you were pretty sure you were facing Guru, or someone in the room was Guru, and you saw that, that would make your connection. So,
Right.
yes.
Then I'm going to try and read auras. Because we're talking about identifying the mages, and we've got one in the room. And I don't think that I've read her aura yet.
No. So that is Perception Empathy at difficulty 8.
Real quick.
Yeah, actually, stacking.
So,
Mages have their own fun things.
so super quick.
Yeah?
The Mind One shield typically hides aura. Now, like, that's your call as to whether it does right now. Because I don't super care personally.
Is that the same thing, like, Will uses?
Yes. So mechanically, at least in the book, it says every one success detracts from one.
And how many successes do you get on that?
5. Sure, that's fine.
Okay, so this whole, like you feel the connection you normally do when it means you can sense someone's aura, but you're not really seeing any colors or shifting or anything. And so that means that, like, you're very confused on why you're not seeing that, because you feel confident in your ability right now, but something's blocking you. And you can't tell if it's necessarily from her or elsewhere, but something's letting you not see what's up with her.
Then I will say to Dinah and Luther, seems like you two might have a way to know. She does not seem to have an aura.
Well, that's different than last time.
Are you checking up on me again?
Yes, sugar. I'd be kind of stupid if I didn't, wouldn't you say? Just looking.
We're trying to find ways to identify your type.
We sparkle.
Well, I'm more.
Or
of a
don't
man.
have one.
Oh, no.
Information.
I'm hiding because I didn't want you to do fuckery again.
Keep in your own head, Abraham. She's probably too young for you anyway.
Apparently not too young for Bjorn.
I've never met anything that could walk that Bjorn wouldn't fuck, so it's fine.
That's a little crude, don't you?
But not inaccurate.
Yeah, you forgot things that swim.
Now this reminds me of the one time I was down in the Florida Keys.
Oh, God, no.
There
That was the
this
mermaid story again, isn't he?
Beautiful mermaid. Oh, let me
You met
tell
a mermaid?
He didn't meet a mermaid.
She had
Did not.
the most
No.
iridescent of scales down her.
It was a whale
I
shark.
don't know what do you call them, legs, tail at that point. Oh God, but they went on.
Bjorn fucked a mariner.
Fucked a manatee, maybe. Probably.
Remember.
So here's how it works, Rebecca. If you do drugs and we drink your blood, Bjorn sees mermaids and then tries to fuck them.
Tries?
Succeeded.
Sadly.
I guess.
Well, that being said, they
Blood here
do
yet, Spira?
either glow,
What?
sparkle.
Blood here yet?
Yeah.
Sparkle,
No,
it looks like little
you'll get a text from outside.
things of
I'll
stars.
just get up unannounced, walk to the door while everyone else is talking, answer it, and like exchange hands, and then look over at Abe. Abe owes you money. Catch him next time, okay? Take the blood bags.
Abe, you're so generous. Is it alright if I call you Abe, or do you prefer Abraham?
I'm alright with this.
But I'll walk back to the table and like slap down like 12 blood bags. Here you go, you thirsty Scandinavian bastard.
Thank you. And he'll grab a bag and unceremoniously open it up and pour it into the glass in front of him.
She'll murmur to Theo, "Where's Scandawija?"
I don't know.
It's right next to Go Fuck Decondia.
It's from someone stealing my favorite loving insults.
Scandinavian slut.
Alright,
I am a
cards
slut.
on
I'm
the
not going
table. Obviously, I'm a little protective of my town. This time of the year is dangerous. Whether the prince invites me to the fucking meetings or not, he needs me. He knows it. I don't care for werewolves. I don't care about them. I'm just as happy to be friends with one, invite them in the goddamn house, whatever. But I do not want any of these fucking magic users, no offense, darling, coming around my city trying to convert all of the religions to their bullshit magic. No offense, darling.
I'm offense taken.
So it seems like we're all in agreement that fuck the technocrats, let's keep the lupine at bay, and do whatever with the prince.
We all have to lose here, right?
You're the only one who wants to fuck them, Bjorn.
But
He's got
yes,
a cute butt, I guess.
in any case, yes, that sounds agreeable. I'm sure any of us would be willing to make some sacrifice for the Lupin to be at peace, as long as we don't end up in the minority.
Look,
Just so I get this straight, when I do, and I will, find one of these mages first, am I supposed to give them to the lupine, or am I supposed to, or what are we doing?
Well, I suppose that depends what happens by the end of Mardi Gras, doesn't it?
Well, I will
these-
clarify as ST that if you wanted the prince's boon, favor, and I mean literally favor, like walk up to the prince, I did this thing, now you owe me a favor, you're supposed to turn it over to him. Your other bet was with your friends of who would do it first. And then you guys could even, like, maybe switch and change it up of who gets to hand it over to who for different reasons.
Yeah,
Because the
I was
bet
just-
itself was whoever finds one.
For sure.
Like, we don't have to do anything.
Luther, my recommendation is to
I'm
find out
leaving
how
it
quickly a human body can be exsanguinated.
Pleasant. I plan on just finding it and leaving it the hell alone and just reporting where their goddamn location is. Somebody else can deal with it.
So another concern is, it's all well, we do this, yes? What about the next generation? Because they don't live as long as we do. And
The next
we're going to
generation
have
of
to do this
lupine
again.
or technocrats?
The lupine. We're going to have to do this again next generation.
Do these motherfuckers not know how to read?
Also, can we maybe just worry about this generation? We can worry about the next one in 10 years. 20 years. I don't know how
40,
they
I think.
Still, that's basically tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
basically.
I don't know. Don't they talk to the spirits or something?
But we have, quote, at least a few hours then to come up with a solution for that problem. Let's just work on this one. This one is literally tomorrow.
And that's my point, is I want to meet with the Lupine and see what exactly they have from their own mouths.
Yes, I agree. You should do that, please.
So let's come back to full circle. The next course of action is me and Rebecca, and possibly Theo, if he wants to come along, will reach out to the Lupine and set up an actual discussion with them directly. No more middlemen, no more any of that bullshit. I will speak with them.
Aren't we the middlemen, Bjorn?
No.
I'm in. You know I love to meet me some dogs.
You've never met a puppy you can't resist petting.
Fair criticism. I don't deny it.
Please don't actually try to pet them, please. I'm not sure if you know that or not. I can never tell. Please don't try to pet.
Have you ever been pet? It's awesome.
Dinah, I don't want to die, so...
If you want a dog to pet, you have mine.
That's a good point. He's gonna, take a sip out of a blood bag. No cup, just tore the corner off, and then, lean over to Rebecca. You want some?
Oh, sure.
Here you go.
She'll take it and just hold it.
Drink, you're gonna die. Come on, quickly.
If someone's close to her, she'll pass it over.
I mean, has Rebecca
Dinah will
ever...
just reach and take it and be like, you don't have to drink it, honey.
Has Rebecca ever had blood before? Because we know it's clean. She's not gonna get a disease from it.
What kind? Are you talking about,
I'm saying out of character.
No, I'm asking. What,
Yeah.
regular
Has Rebecca
people blood?
ever- Yeah.
No.
New experience.
It might make a great
Getting
folk
shot
eye. You
is
don't
a
know.
new experience. She doesn't look forward to it.
Blood's
Have
an experience.
Aren't the Cult of Ecstasy all about experiences?
Yeah, but not to the point of goddamn...
No, they're into experiences they know give you some kind of enlightened thing, not just, I've never eaten slugs before, so I'll eat those.
I will argue, however, she's in a room of undead people who survive solely off of this substance, and she hasn't tried it yet.
Yeah, she's not gonna try it. She knows she has blood.
Look,
You don't
like,
need
no,
to
as a human girl who's, cut her arm or, something else, you just
Right?
end up,
She can suck her fingers.
you know what it's like.
Come on, darling, masturbation isn't sex. You gotta try someone else.
Anyways,
I
on that
never
note,
argued that it was.
let's bring this conversation back to its natural conclusion of we'll reach out to the Lupine and try to resolve this. On the meantime, it sounds like we have some technocrats we need to track down. And it seems at least... Was it Abe or Luther who had aspects that he was using?
Abe.
It seems at least Abe is able to notice something, which means if you want to lead up some sort of task force, I don't know what the people are calling it these days, and investigate the technocrats or gain any information you can, it might be worth our time to look into.
Do you have any idea how to do that exactly? Because really all I've got is I was going to stand in rooms and just look at people's auras. That's all I got. That's what I was going to do.
Darling, you attract plenty large crowds. I'm sure.
Thank you, honey. But, I appreciate that compliment, Sugar, but it's still not exactly the best plan.
I do have a few ideas, but this is a bet after all.
Actually,
Rebecca?
Yes.
Go.
No, please, go ahead, Luther.
I was going to say that's actually not quite a bad idea. Maybe if you did do a show, Abe can come along and you can use Auspex also, Diana, and we can maybe clear out a whole room or a large section of
You
the
just
town.
want me to look mildly supernatural on a stage and hope that I don't die? No, thank you.
How
How about you go on the crowd and we look for you?
Dinah, if you're in a room full, a completely packed room of kine, I doubt the technocracy is going to do anything so bold as to breach the masquerade in a room full of
No, you're
several
right. They
hundred
might
kine.
just look, and if they're looking like we do, then we might be able to spot them doing that.
Then we will at worst gather just as much intel as they will have gathered.
There we
Even
go.
better. How about we have a theme night like the bars around here do? And
You
we
mean
can
Mardi
say,
Gras themed? Because that's what all the themes are going to be.
well, no, not
because it's Mardi Gras.
not so boring, darling. How about we go with, I don't know, Supernatural Night? We could have vampires and werewolves galore. In costumes, of course, but maybe one of us could be hiding in plain sight.
I am not wearing a Dracula costume.
Why not?
I'll wear a zombie costume, if you ask me nicely.
Well, don't worry about what the theme of the party is. I'm sure me and Dinah can handle that, but
Point
Honestly, all I've
being,
gotta
if they
do is
have a
stand on
reason to
stage,
believe-
sing and captivate a crowd, if you know what I mean, and I think that should be enough.
We have to make sure we get the right crowd. There's a million Mardi Gras parties. Why would they go to any specific one? If there's zombies or werewolves, maybe that's worth checking in on.
Maybe
Because
overemphasize
everyone-
exactly the type of music you're singing is particularly old, and that you've mastered an art that is died out or something along those
That's a
lines.
better idea. Something that
Because everyone that
Give
dresses
a
up
thing.
as a werewolf or a zombie is. They must clearly be a vampire.
Exactly, but somebody who is perfected an art that has since died out, that is a little bit more on the nose for somebody in the know.
I can dust out some of the old songs.
If you heard the Prince talk, Abe, you'd know he's fucking crazy about that shit. I can't open a goddamn window without it being, oh, the Masquerade!
But the prince is not a concern. The concern is the technocracy.
You just said people were not concerned about fucking zombies. I mean, The Walking Dead is good and all, but, like, I don't look like that.
We wish
I
you
would
were
beg
so
to do-
attractive.
I would beg to differ.
Fair enough, you bastards.
It's all right, honey. I think you're handsome the way you are.
At least I don't have to.
Don't
smell
lie
like
to
I'm
me.
dead. No, at least I
I'm
don't
very
have-
good at lying, honey. I didn't lie that time.
No, I'm definitely.
Theo, you
at
look
least,
exactly the way God intended.
At least I don't have to smell The Walking Dead.
I like to think I have a nice earthy musk.
All right. Well,
You do.
Mardi Gras this year is actually February 13th, which means that the 2 weeks beforehand will also be Mardi Gras. Parties and parades and everything going fucking wild in New Orleans up to proper Fat Tuesday. But the next 2 weeks during January will mean a lot of other planning, preparation, opportunities to meet with people who want to throw parties, do specific things at certain clubs. There are plenty of kindred-specific clubs, specific parties, all that sort of fun. So you guys have started coming up with a very good system, in which case you guys are trying to find a way to have a obviously supernatural party to the right eyes, but not so obvious as to catch mortal eyes. So actually, I think this would be a good place to wrap, and I would love to talk to all of you a little more out downtime to get it all circumsituated. And we'll have this great idea next game of exactly what kind of party you're planning. Maybe even play the party a little bit next week or the week after, before the Mardi Gras season comes to a head in February. And yeah, so good spot to stop right now with everybody in the same place discussing plans to try and find and trap some technocrats. Want to thank everybody who came out and watched live. Want to thank everybody who watches us on YouTube. You guys are the best. If you haven't joined our Discord already, or our Twitter, or found us on YouTube, all the links are down below in Twitch, and also on YouTube. All the links should be down below now. Finally got that all updated. You guys are all super awesome. We love all the love and support. We are so excited to do this VTM and World of Darkness stuff since everybody's always like D&D. And real quick, start of a new game. Let's go around the clock and just hear from everybody about how much fun they're having, how they're feeling. Super Chocolate Bear, how you feeling? What you like about this game?
I love that I get to play someone who doesn't hate humans.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is hard just being an angry rebel all But yeah, I also I love that we just have a straight one, we have our mission that we're doing, we're going for it.
Nice.
The other one that was kind of branching out. There's tons of stuff that we could or we're doing. So yeah, I definitely enjoy that we have one thing that we're all doing together.
Nice. How about you, Bonnie?
I'm digging this this kind of crotchety, snarky old man. No, it's fun.
Which one?
The interactions between the three of them. Because, Elvish is old, but she's not the crotchety ones that we are yet. She's not quite that old, and Luther's
I'm
new
only
to
like
town.
100.
Yeah.
Not that old.
I'd say that's in that time frame of I'm enjoying that mortality thing or immortality thing where I can see all this stuff.
Yeah. Digging that. Definitely digging, just appreciating, kind of like Super Chocolate Bear said, appreciating not playing someone who's so rough on the personality. Because, Angel was great, but Otto was, he's just emotionally draining.
Yeah.
So I definitely Super Chocolate Bear's coming from with that.
How about you, Elvish Dame? How you liking Dinah?
I'm enjoying playing someone who knows what's going on. All right.
Yeah.
Kim does a good job for what she knows, but this is way.
And I love Kim to death, but I figured this would be
Dude,
this is a nice game to play. Did you have anything else you want to say? Just wanted to ask before I moved on.
No, that's pretty much it. I'm really having fun playing someone who actually kind of knows what's going on and already is there.
Yeah. How about you, Modi? How do you like your Viking guy?
Well, I think we've all kind of summed it up very nicely at this point, that all of us have... New York by Night has been going on for a long period of time, and while we all love our characters, they're all a specific type of person, which playing week after week is a little bit tiring after a year, and it's been very refreshing to step into a new set of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what's kind of been echoed so far, is it's just kind of fun to step into a new role. We all enjoy acting, we all enjoy this sort of thing, and just that little sense of new has been refreshing, and I'm kind of excited to see where this goes.
Nice. Kozark, how do you like your dead man Samedi?
It's like if you took Ike's sort of witty, snarky remarks, turn them up to 11, and put them on someone who just has no shame. I love it. It's super fun. Again, echoing everyone, totally different set. Ike was a loner, had no friends, was very guarded, didn't talk to people. Here I am on the other hand, playing Theo, who was Masquerade breaking. A mage walked up to him and was like, "You gave me a trinket when I was a child, now I'm a mage, let's be friends." And he was like, "Fuck it, yes, I'm doing that today," and that's it. He can't get into people's heads, he doesn't have aspects. He was just like, no, I like you, I remember that trinket, please, let's proceed normally. She could be the technocracy for all he knows, doesn't give a shit. But also, to talk about another side of it is the actual being an established coterie already, knowing each other. I'm super loving the interactions with Abe and Rebecca. because like it's just fun to have friends. Ike had no friends in the last game. Like, as sad boy and pathetic as that is, Ike had no friends other than Nate, so it was kind of isolating. I know, but we weren't old friends.
No, but I was just about to say, can we just like make Rebecca the MVP so far, because
She's the glue. She is sticking all the pieces
oh my
together.
god, just even your presence is making this so much fun.
But and also like Flagrant Insanity is just delicious to play. Like, Theo is so all over the place. It's just fun to be able to say whatever random non sequitur pops into my head. Hopefully I don't come off as like lulz random girl, but other than that, super enjoying it.
No, I think you're playing it right. And last but not least, we have our lovely soul mage in the game, Hopeless Andre, playing Rebecca, the Cult of Ecstasy mage. How you feeling?
I feel so lucky to be playing with you guys, man. I'm just having a goddamn grand old time. Everyone's characters are so fun, and I'm just like angry that there even is a cutoff, because all I want to do is keep talking to people.
You know what? Like, yeah, we'll talk about it outside, but like, since you guys are so much older and have relationships that I want to, I want to show as much on stream as we can, but there's room to like talk about how you know each other and other interactions. We can maybe do a little off stream. But at this point, I think we're gonna wrap the game for tonight. Episode 1 of New Orleans by Night. Again, as I said earlier, thank you to everybody who came out and watched live. Thanks to everyone who watches us on YouTube later when you don't have time to catch us live. We love all the support and everything. Zabani is spamming our Discord link. Definitely join us there. We don't just talk about our games. We talk about them. But we talk about VTM in general, WoD in general, World of Darkness, any of the games, Modi and several others are actually like really well versed with Demon. Hope is our mage expert, who's going to be helping me a lot in this game. Elvish is an amazing artist. She always posts her art there. And just, it's just a great community. So come hang out with us. We just talk about stuff in general. You know, we got a meme channel and all that other fun stuff. It's a good place to hang out.
That's the most important part.
Obviously, like every good channel has the meme channel. But yeah, no, we just hang out and we have fun. So come join us there. The YouTube channel link is below as well if you missed any of our older games sessions. And this Friday, we will be continuing our session 0, so like 0.2 of designing the world for our upcoming Dungeons and Dragons game. So we started making our own world because we thought, like, you know, we could just drop ourselves in some place that the DM would have to explain everything all the time. But we decided instead, nope, we're making our own place. We use the Dawn of World system, and we just made our own fucking map. We're gonna finish it up with some more like events and races and context this coming Friday, and then the next week after we'll probably be beginning our game. So yeah, if you like D&D, check us out this Friday for more. Why are you shaking your head? What?
I'm thinking it's gonna be. I'm thinking next week or this week is gonna be like races, and then last week is going to be phase 3 politics.
The next 2 phases, we'll have 3 session zeros, basically 3 lore sessions, and then game.
Yeah, actually, no, that sounds fine to me because I'm having so much fun with that shit anyway. So yeah, but
politics is going to take us a hell of a long time.
But this coming Friday will be more races and stuff like that, and actually, we really want audience participation. We like names, we like ideas, stuff like that. So definitely come out if you want to join and like help us build this world that our players are going to be playing in. That'll be great. Discord link is in the chat. a billion miles away. Love you all. Thank you so much. And we're going to say goodbye now. Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
See you later, you fuckheads.
Don't insult them. They're our viewers.
What do you know, you
It's
bastard?
Theo.
Listen, Theo, we've discussed this before.
And see.